Yeah. All right. So listen, y'all. I'm about to give it to y'all raw and uncut. You know, I started talking to Team Spence, I would say, and Al Hamm and them about May. You know, right after his fight. You know, just going back and forth. You know, they sending me a proposal with the interest of a Spence and Crawford fight. We didn't get a contract until August, and you know, it was just kind of like a regular contract. You know, it wasn't nothing. It was initial proposal. It wasn't even a contract. It was a proposal, and Spence, Crawford, the intentions of us fighting. Okay, so we going on the basically the negotiations of what a contract would look like before we actually got the actual contract. Al goes in to saying a guy that I don't know, never represented me, not affiliated with Team Crawford, have no whatsoever place in Team Crawford's, you know, stable, representing me in a contract which I have no nothing upon that I agreed to. So basically that was a standpoint of what the contract would look like. So basically I'm talking to Al and I'm like, Al, come on, man, I don't even know this guy. You know, how can you do that? And he's like, well, the guy stated he's a part of your team and whatnot. And you know, we going back and forth, you know. I was a good dude, man. I was a, you know, charming guy, you know. He's a cool dude, you know. I kind of like talking to him, but at the same time, Spence is our guy. I'm not. So of course he's gonna do what's best for, you know, his fighter, his guy. That's like, you know, any other manager / advisor would do. He would do the best for his fighter. So, you know, me and Al, we talks on the phone, you know. I get advice from other guys in PBC. They tell me, you know, be careful, make sure the deal is right. They tell me, make sure you don't get fucked. You know, just normal things from guys that's in they stable that I'm friends with. You know, I honestly can say I'm friends with. So, you know, we going on and on, you know, and of course me and Al, you know, we going back and forth about, you know, the numbers. We're not going back and forth about anything else. We just going back and forth about the numbers. All in all, I have two companies, you know, that reach out to me that, you know, wanted to give me and Spence $25 million guaranteed. $25 million guaranteed up front. So a real guy like myself, I call Spence. Hey, bro, look, listen, you know what I mean? I got this company that's willing to give us $25 million a piece, guaranteed. What's up? What you gonna do? He like, 25 million, what about the back end? I'm like, dude, listen, if they make their money back, then we get 80-20. You know what I mean? It's simple math. I said, man, we got people all still in the fight. They got the fire sticks. He laughed. He like, man, I got a fire stick too. I'm like, see? I'm like, man, ain't nobody really buying, you know what I mean, pay-per-views no more. I said, man, we get this upfront money and we good. It's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? But one thing about me And I would say the difference between me and the difference between Spence is I'm really my own boss now, and he's not. He got to go through Al. He got to go through, his team and ask them if he can do certain things that I don't have to no more. Yeah, I might have had to when I was with Top Rank because I was signed to Top Rank and they was my promotional company. So of course I had to go to Top Rank and ask them to get me this fight or do this for me or do that for me because I was obligated to do certain things by their standard because I was signed to them. But now that I'm a free agent and I'm free to do whatever I want, I'm the one sitting at the table. I'm the one that's talking directly to these high individuals. Errol Spence not talking to Terrence Crawford about the fight. Errol Spence wasn't at the table. Errol Spence can't tell you or show you a contract that says Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. That he was there on the negotiations of. He can't do it. So he had to go back and ask Al for permission, if he can, take this big chunk of lump sum of money to fight Terrence Crawford, which he didn't call me back. So I proposed it to Al. I hit up Al. I'm like, Al, listen, man, I got this big hedge fund company out here. They claim they know you. Not one, but two. Not one, but two. Two companies willing to put 20 plus million in both of our pocket, guaranteed. Al tell me straight up, I'm not letting nobody touch this fight. Like, all right, cool. But I'm like, why? He like, why would you want to put a ceiling on yourself? Why you want to put a cap on yourself? I'm like, well, that's not putting a cap on myself if this company is taking a risk. And risk, high risk, high reward. If that's the case, I can't seem to see a fight that's been doing millions, since Floyd and them. So that was an altercation. I asked Al. I said, since this fight is dragging on with me and Spence, and we can't get things together, why don't I come out and meet you with my lawyer and we just wrap it up? Just me and you and my lawyer. Al said, his mother was, not doing too well. And I honor that and I respect that. Family first. I'm a family oriented type of guy. So I know what it is, to, put your family first. So I'm cool with that. But then again, as negotiations still drag on, and I had stated that I wanted to fight in this year, I asked Al again because we seemed like we wasn't getting nowhere. So I asked Al. I said, Al, listen, why don't you get Spence and you, since you his representative, and I'll get myself and my lawyer, and we just make this fight. Anything we got to do, we can do it right there and sign, seal, deliver. And Al told me straight up, that ain't never happened in the history of ever, where two fighters sit down at the table and they come to an agreement and they get a fight made like that. Not even Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. So I'm like, okay, well, it's the first time for everything. I never heard of a fighter ever taking zero guarantee in a fight. I never heard of a fighter of a 4-rounder taking 0% of a guarantee. That is something that's new to me, but that's something that I was willing to do to make this fight happen. A lot of people, they say, oh, well, Terrence, you ducked, or Terrence, you did this and you didn't want to fight Spence. I'm the only one that was taking all the risks. I told him, all right, cool. I take no guarantee. I take, the less end of the money. You know, whatever it is you want, I take it because that's how much confidence I got that I'm gonna beat that man. That's how much confidence I got. I'm gonna beat that man. So, even though I know I was getting fucked in the long run, I just, wanted a little transparency. I said, okay, if I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna go against all the odds, then I wanna, a little transparency. Of course, I want to be able to write off on, things that's gonna affect my check. Of course, I want to see if the numbers add up to what they telling me. You're not gonna go and it's just simple to me to think that a person will go in a business with a person 50-50 and this person would tell them, well, you got to give me 50% down and I give you 50%. And then you say, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you how much we really made, but I'm going to just give you this. You just got to trust me. Come on now. It don't make no sense. I never was offered a guarantee, not once. I never, was given anything. But here, you want this fight? We gonna fuck you, and then you got what you want. But that's how much confidence and faith I have in myself. I took it all. I took it all. I took the risk. Big risk, big reward. That's how I look at it. And I believe in my abilities, and I believe in myself. So I'm like, it's whatever. Earl Spence, he can't say the same. He can't say the same. He on audio saying Al Heyman gonna make sure he's good. He's in the best position to win this fight. Of course he is. He supposed to. You got everything surrounding you to help you. So people mad at me because Al told me if I don't take this fight, he's just gonna go and Errol Spence gonna make 8 million, eight figures. He's gonna make 8 figures without me. So basically, he telling me, well, you take this fight or leave it, or you got nothing. Basically, because we've been dragging and dragging and dragging. So when I don't know, like the type of caliber of people that he been dealing with or they been dealing with, but I'm not the type of guy to just sit on my ass and sit on my hands for no man to feed my family. So you mad at me for taking a fight with a tough opponent? You may not know him, but he's a tough opponent for a bigger purse, a guarantee that I wasn't even gonna get. You crazy in the head. You crazy in the head. So now here we go. Back to square, one. Like, what do you really expect? You expect me to be disrespected, ran over, stepped on, and just sit there and just take it. That's crazy. That ain't even my style. See, me personally, I wasn't even gonna say nothing because I'm not the talkative type. And y'all pretty much know that. But sometimes, you gotta say what's real. You gotta say what's on your mind, and you gotta stop letting these people just do what they want with you. A lot of people say, well, did he ask to see Bob Arum's books? Did he ask for transparency with Bob Arum? No, I didn't. You know why? A lot of y'all probably don't even know why, but I was signed to Bob Arum. I wasn't my own boss. I was given a guarantee on every single fight that I fought for Bob Arum in Top Rank. That's the difference. That's the difference, you guys. So if you guys can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, you know. So I stated that I want to fight this year, and that was my thing. I wanted to fight this year. So we going back and forth, numbers, boom, 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 boom. So the transparency part, you know, that was the dragger. Where was Errol Spence at? I didn't hear Errol Spence. Where was the tweets? I didn't hear the tweets. I didn't see the tweets. Where was this guy at? He was under a rock. If you're a real one, like you say you is, like the truth, you'll come out and tell the truth. You, tell the truth, buddy. Come on, man. I called you and told you, listen, got this bread on the table, man. What is you doing? What is you doing? You're not your own boss, my dude. So stop saying that you your own boss. Stop saying that you the truth and you this and you that, but you got to answer to a lot of people, my dude. You got to answer to a lot of people, and I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. They got you to where you is now. They got you to where you is now. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. But like, when you look at it, a lot of people say, oh, well, why you didn't fight Boots, or why you didn't fight Ortiz? Well, them names that never came up. I would have fought them names in a heartbeat. Come on, man. I'm the best fighter in the world. Who you think I am? Who you think I am? I'm the best fighter in the world. I always fought in my mandatories. I ain't never ducked my mandatories. But, you know, yet and still, I hear through the grapevine, Spence is about to fight a guy that he promised and he swore that he wasn't going to fight, which is Keith Thurman. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what's floating around. So, what's up with the trueness with that? You swear up and down that you're not gonna fight this guy. You don't care what nobody say. Now you about to fight him. So that means you was lying, buddy. But you know why you gotta fight Thurman? You want to know why, fans? Because of the money. It's all about the money. Come on now. He not gonna make that much money fighting Ortiz or Boots. Come on, man. It's obvious. Who Spence gonna fight besides me that's gonna make, you know, $20 million? Nobody. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I don't know how truthful it is, but you know, Floyd say, you know, he's the spokesman of PBC and he's our right-hand man. We done heard that on numerous occasions. And Floyd came out and said that the fight wasn't happening in this year. So y'all mad at me for going to get a bag? When did that ever happen? Y'all mad at me for going to get a bag? Come on, man. We're going to turn up with BLK Prime. You know what I mean? We're going to do our thing, man. We stepping up to the plate, man. They turning boxing around, man. All the biggest fights, you know what I mean, going through them. You know, they the new wave. You know? Hey, giving these fighters, you know what I mean, they just do. You want to fight this guy, they're going to make it happen. It's simple, you know? But, hey, my intentions is still the same. After this fight, Spence, you know what I mean, successful. I'm successful. He said he gonna spin the block. And let him spin the block so I can drop him off where he's standing. And that's just how I'm going to keep it. It's just that simple. He spin the block. We're going to be ready for whatever. And y'all fans, y'all can, you know what I mean, chop it up and edit it and put it however y'all want and try to change the narrative or my words. But December 10th, you know what I mean? Tune in to BLK Pride. Black Pride, baby. We in the building. Tune in, y'all. If y'all don't, you know what I mean? Y'all some haters. If y'all do, you know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Support the kid.
No, Xavier.
Mic check. The show, man. I appreciate y'all. So there you have it. And I'm gonna let that breathe for a second. I appreciate you guys coming in early. I knew you guys wanted to see it. And I know some of the stuff. I know some of the stuff that is true. And as I told you guys, didn't I tell you guys? I'm gonna tell you guys, and I know he couldn't say BLK Prime. You know what I mean? It's kind of a tongue twister in the beginning, and it's new to him. You know what I mean? The first interview saying it, it is kind of funny. You know what I mean? But BLK Prime is like, man, say it right, man. It's promotion. Say it right, man. I know. And all the emotional Spence fans is gonna take that and say he couldn't even say the name. Watch how many YouTubers say he couldn't even pronounce it. It's funny, but that's not what we want. What we want is the, and as I told you guys, Al Heyman is the best hater that pretends he loves you. Didn't I tell you guys how Al Heyman talks on the phone? Hey, I love you, brother. How you doing? How your mama doing, man? I got the best in you, man. I'm gonna make sure this deal get done for you, man. I'll get back to you, man. Yada yada yada. That's how Al Heyman talks on the phone. You know what I mean? And since you let the cat out the bag, I'll say what I do know. And I just found this out. I didn't know this along the way. Okay. I told you guys what was going on from Jump Street. You guys didn't believe me. I reached out to tell you guys so I have full disclosure, because I'm gonna let you know how detailed I am as it pertains to protecting these fighters. And me and Crawford will never talk in life. I just want that to be clear. We'll never talk in life. You know what I mean? Because he's the guy that has a big bravado. And that's just the reality, and I respect that. Let's see. When did I contact him? Damn. That was a text, but I called him. Let's see how you do this shit. You go to contact. Well, anyways, man, it was like late September, early October where I contacted Team Crawford, and I told them what I know about the deal. You understand what I'm saying? And what I know from the deal is Al Heyman said one thing to Crawford and one thing to Spence. And here's the most important thing you guys really, really need to understand. And hopefully Team Spence is really listening to me. And as I say, I tell the truth because I care. The moment, I'm going to tell you what I know. The moment Terrence Crawford had another deal on the table, Al Heyman separated Spence from Crawford. He didn't separate it like, don't talk to him. He said, I'm assuming this is what he said to Team Spence, because I've heard Al Heyman talk on the phone and he talks just like this. I'm going to pretend Earl Spence is on the other line, and this is how Al Heyman talks. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got the deal on the table. And first of all, how you doing? How's everything good? Your kids good? Yeah, we're going to get the deal done, man. I just want to make sure you're good, and yeah, we're going to make sure Crawford gets the deal done. Crawford is kind of holding things up because he doesn't want to sign his half, but I just want to keep you abreast as to, he talks kind of lower and a little bit more deliberate. But this is how he never says, he's not a fuck you nigga. You understand? You know how you see on YouTube when niggas like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. No, Al doesn't talk like that. Al talks as if he's your ally. Al, I'm going to repeat. Al Heyman talks to you as if he's your ally. So I'm assuming he told Earl, hey, I'm going to take care of the deal for you. I'm in negotiations with his lawyer. His lawyers are being a little bit stubborn, but I'm sure I'll take care of it. And then he goes back to Crawford and says what he says. But the moment he knew that BLK Prime wanted this fight, I don't know how much money. I don't know if it was 25 million, whatever it is. I just found this out. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I do know. Coming back to me as I know. In June, and Crawford should have laid out a timeline. He did in the beginning. I think it was June or July. BLK Prime reached out to Crawford to attempt to get Spence versus Crawford. And I don't know if that's the timeline that Crawford speaks of, but they reached out to Crawford. I don't know if they spoke to Spence. I can't confirm that, but they had money. I don't know how much money it was. Am I buffering? Oh, sorry about that. It's the internet, but it looks good on my end. And Al wanted to keep them separate. The moment they know you have a chance to work together, it's like a rapper going independent, going rogue. Oh, you're crazy. You're this, you're that. Al Heyman played this shit to the T. And y'all niggas blaming the fighters. I told, man, listen, I gave you guys the play step by step by step. Now, here's what I believe the next play is. I believe Earl Spence is going to go up to 154. Maybe he'll fight Fundora. Maybe he'll fight Tony Harrison. Maybe he'll do whatever the case may be, right? 2, Al Heyman believes that he can convince Spence to take the Keith Thurman fight. I don't know how true that is, but I believe Al Heyman believes he can convince Spence to take that fight. In his mind, the whole way is, I got to pay my payroll. These are my employees. I got to take care of my employees first, because if I lose the king or the queen on my chessboard, I don't even think it's chess or checkers. I just think it's just simply business 101. You know, it ain't no secret to this, you know. If I lose, if Spence, he's thinking like a businessman. I don't know what he does or don't believe if Spence can beat Crawford. I obviously think Spence stops him. I think Spence, well, who cares about that right now? So he says, I got to make payroll with these guys. The moment he says that is he got to keep his fighters in play. They're not fighting. They're only fighting once a year. The same way he wants to use Wilder to protect Andy Ruiz. The same way they're going to use Tank to protect Abner Mares is the same way they want Spence to protect Keith Thurman. You understand what I'm saying? And go back and check my videos. I said, don't be surprised if Earl's next fight is in Dallas. That's when, and I did that video right after I heard Al Heyman speak, allegedly. This is all alleged. This ain't, I don't know if it's real. You can believe me if you don't or not. And in that conversation, whether you like it, love it, or hate it, he was steering away from Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is the stepson that lives in the house that knows all the parents' secrets. You understand? He comes over on the weekends to spend time with his dad, but he knows mom is an alcoholic. mom beats her kids too much. And he's seen too much. And the kid can literally expose him, but no one's going to believe him because mom is the president of the PTA. She cooks breakfast every morning. She takes care of the kids. She's well dressed. She has a 6-figure job, but when she's a functional alcoholic. And that's what PBC is. PBC is functional alcoholism. And that's where we're at. And I thought Terrence Crawford was going to show the contracts. That's what I thought he was going to. It don't matter if he do or don't. It really doesn't matter. But I wish he would have showed the contracts to make him more legit, or not even show the contracts, to show the emails. What he should have said was, showed the emails. He should have showed timestamped the emails. That's what he should have did. And he can use his Instagram for that, to timestamp so everybody knows. So I'm here to say, because I want this fight, and I love Earl Spence as a man, and I love what he's doing with his family. I love him as a father. I tell the truth. And Terrence Crawford has been nothing short of a stellar father, even though he hates my guts. He's a stellar father. He's been with the same woman his whole entire life. He got multiple kids by the same woman. And so obviously there's love in the house. And he's an exceptional father, husband, because he's been with the same woman, and he's been through hell and hell to keep her. You know, you've been with a woman that long, you got to go through hell sometimes. You know what I mean? You got to walk in the tunnel sometime. I'm 23 years in, 22, 23 years in. Bud doesn't hate me. I wouldn't say that. I mean, Bud don't even think about me. I'll just say that. I have no barons in Bud's life. You get what I'm saying? But that's the truth, man. And have I been right the whole time? I told you guys this fight wasn't happening. The moment I heard Al say, "Now we're going to push this fight. We're going to push him. We're going to push him off the ledge." I'm paraphrasing, but we're going to push him off the ledge. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, and that's just the reality of it. And you guys say, and you guys got to think about something too. Why wouldn't Earl trust Al Heyman? He got him to this point. Why wouldn't he trust him? You're saying he's this, he's that, but listen, he's been right by Earl, so I can see it. You know, he was the marquee for the Fox push in 2018. That was 2019, and then in September he got the Sean Porter fight. Why wouldn't he trust Al Heyman? And then in January, barring the car accident, he was going to fight Danny Garcia. So that's 2019. And then we go into COVID, right? Or 2020, then we go into COVID. It was somewhere in there, right? And no, it was 2018 he fought, and then 2019, and then 2020 was COVID. So you got to ask yourself, he got him in position to get the Manny Pacquiao fight. He got him in position to get the Ugas belt. He has no reason not to trust Al. Do you guys understand logic? I'm telling you what I know. And when you look at both sides, and Al Heyman knows he has unwavering trust in Earl, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he trust him? You get what I'm saying, guys? So you can't blame Earl on this at all. And why would Earl trust me? I'm just a YouTuber. Like, you understand? Like, why would he say, "Oh man, Al's been right by me all these years," and then Fred is out here saying this? Shit, Al has been right by me 100 times. PBC fighters like, Al's been right by me 100 times. Why would I trust a YouTuber? They have every right to say Fred is an asshole. He's a piece of shit. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about, because he's shown proof of concept. But like I told you guys, 2019 Al Heyman is not 2020 Al Heyman. And now we're stuck, because now if you put the pieces together, If you put your timelines together and take your emotions out, whether you're a Bud fan or a Spence fan, you have your fucking answer. Oh, I'm not trying to do damage control at all. I'm just speaking facts. Fuck damage control. I'm speaking facts. If your father has been right by you to the age of 34, why would you not trust him? If your uncle has been right for you till you're 34, why would you not trust him? I'm speaking to you logically. I'm not speaking with emotion. I'm not speaking. No. This ain't the Fred doesn't speak with emotion without. Stop the damage control. I don't understand what y'all saying. Well, B-men. Well, how about stop talking? And I think your voice needs to be added because Lincoln would trust me. Saying Lincoln would trust Dre. Why would he not trust me? You know, I don't understand it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at it from a logical standpoint. I'll give you guys another example. Y'all called me crazy when I said Al Heyman fucked up Wilder's career. But why wouldn't Wilder trust him? You get what I'm saying? He sent Charles Martin over there for that belt because he wanted Anthony Joshua. He valued Anthony Joshua over Deontay Wilder. I'm not protecting him. I'm just saying, why would he not trust him? He's gotten everything he's wanted. Wilder is rich. He's gotten all the fights he wanted. He got Dominic Breazeale. He got Bermane Stiverne twice. He got Luis Ortiz twice. He got Fury 3 times. Why would he not trust him and believe little YouTuber Frederick Hawthorne? You guys understand what I'm saying? Name another fighter. Jermell Charlo. Why would Jermell Charlo trust me over Al Heyman? Okay, let's take it back. Why would Jermell Charlo trust me over Al Heyman? He's gotten a pay-per-view. He was a headliner on Fox. He was a headliner on Showtime. Jermell Charlo has had 6 cupcake fights in a row and got paid millions of dollars to do it. Why would Jermell Charlo trust me? Fire, what the fuck you talking about? Look at this paycheck. I'm fighting Highland. I'm fighting Montiel. I'm fighting, who else he fought? No disrespect to these opponents, but they're B- fighters. You understand? Why would Andy Ruiz believe me when Al Heyman allowed him to fight Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua. Not once, but twice. Nah, Fred, he's a good guy, man. You know, we going through a rough patch. Al gonna call him and say it's COVID. We getting back together. Man, come on, man. But now the rubber has hit the road. There's no fighter that I wouldn't tell that. Well, everybody knows now because I use my social medias to tell what I've been saying. Come back in, Drew. I was about to hit you. But so protect. Nah, Fred ain't protecting nothing. Those are other YouTube channels. You know what I mean? I'm not protecting. I care about them, so I tell the truth. Go watch my Shakur Stevenson video I just did. I care about Shakur. Did I not tell what I believe to be true? Al Heyman fucked this shit up from the jump street. Period. Fucked it up. And the sad thing about life, hindsight is 2020. I don't blame him. You get what I'm saying? I don't blame him. And listen, Al Heyman would never tell Bob you can't see the books. I'm going to repeat. Al Heyman would never tell Bob Arum you can't see the books. And here's the catch with these YouTubers. And it's not just black YouTubers. I'm saying I'm blanketing every YouTuber. Everywhere you go, you get an itemized receipt. You go to the restaurant, French fries, $7, hamburger, $13, milkshake, $9. You go to a concert, one ticket $75, service fee $13.95. Names any place you go, your receipt is itemized. Al Heyman would never tell Bob Arum, no, you can't see the books. Now we got a man acting as all in one. All in one, you don't respect them. You know, I wish Bud would have signed earlier, you know what I mean? And then we would have got the fight, you know, because now he's under Al Heyman's umbrella, you know, so the fight has to be made. Like Al Heyman wants Terrence Crawford. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, not Terrence Crawford, but what's the guy's name? Keith Thurman, you know, so and that's where we're at, man. But feel free to beam in. And I appreciate you guys breaking down the shop. If we don't get to Migos today, we'll get to it tomorrow. No big deal, because this is an important topic, you know. And boxing fans got to make a decision. Got to make a decision. What are we willing to support? Same thing with hip hop. The rubber has hit the road, but everybody going back to their life next Monday. You know, after we get drunk Saturday as a society, watch a couple football games, you know, that kid gonna be in the freezer. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of this thing, man. You know, and it's just that's PBC calling me now. Ha ha, y'all wish y'all got these calls, huh? Y'all wish y'all got these calls. Y'all wish y'all got these calls. And I'm going to quote, there's never been a fight of this magnitude without any guarantees. Yeah, I wish I got these calls. What's up, Saul?
Hey, what's going on,
We can't hear you, so speak up.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Nah, you kind of muffled.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so I mean, I heard some of what he said in that live, but he did say that he tried to get him to go fight on BLK Prime. Is that even possible, or does he really need Al's permission?
I'm gonna be honest. No fighter needs Al Heyman permission to do anything. They think they do.
Yeah. So then, so you think that he wouldn't have even tried to entertain that unless Al said, "Okay, yeah, that's fine."
It appears that he trusts Al Heyman with his business.
Yeah. But I mean, he really wanted this fight. So like, if Al couldn't give him the fight, like, doesn't the fight, surpass what he feels for Al, I guess?
What?
Like, this is for him personal,
No,
like
no,
his personal career.
yeah, you have a right to say that. But when you're negotiating, I'm assuming they're talking pretty frequent, right? And if a man hasn't steered him wrong his whole career, he's going to believe what he says about Crawford. You understand?
Yeah.
So you can't, like, it's just the reality of the game, man. It's just the reality of the game. You understand what I'm saying? And we are all the casualties of war: the fighters, the fans, the manager. I mean, the trainers. Because the trainers aren't getting paid. Trainers got mortgages to pay. So, it's it's the sad truth about boxing when five men in boxing control it.
Wow. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, this sucks. I mean, hearing what he said, like, I don't know how anyone could say Spence or Crawford anymore. Like if it wasn't clear already with what you were telling everybody, It's out in the open, you know.
It's crystal clear.
Yeah,
It's
it's crystal clear. Like you can't blame anyone, but Al, like literally you can't. And it's just it sucks that that's how it went down. I man, yeah, this guy needs to go. This guy is ruining all the good fights.
you're right, Phil. I actually tried to get Russell and Haney to do the same thing. You're right. And I said that 2 or 3 years ago during COVID. I advocated for them to get their own deal themselves. But I do know BLK Prime was very interested in putting on this fight. I didn't know how much money it was. But now that we know it's $25 million because, you know,
He
but
said
that's,
it, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know who the second company is. I'm willing to bet it's probably Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn will put this fight on for sure in the UK. I mean, not in the UK, but what's that
Saudi?
play? Yeah, in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. So now we in a conundrum, guys. We in a conundrum where the business of boxing has failed everybody. We are literally the business of boxing have failed the boxers and the fans. How about we just leave it there? Yeah, if you want to go to details, if you want Spence and Crawford to get on the phone and say, you didn't call me back. I told you this. I told you that. Now we know. It has failed everybody except the people in charge. That's all I'm saying. And I don't like I said, I'd be the first man. Let me tell you something. I would be the first guy to blame Terrence Crawford. The first guy. I'm not afraid to. I'm not going to disrespect him and call him out his name. And, that's one thing I'm not going to do. But I will lean on him heavily and call him a liar. Just like I can't get on Earl. I can't get on him. And this is just the stone cold truth. We just going to sit and pretend because fans are used to bunting and trying to sprint the first base. They've never had the confidence to swing the bat. They've never had the confidence to try and hit for a home run and demand these fights. So all we want to do is bunt or slap or be away Boggs. You know what I mean? Hit singles to the opposite field. We never want to take full control. We want someone else to bring us home. Man, I just want to get on base because this guy named Barry Bonds behind me, I'm going to just lean on him. Matter of fact, I'm going to try and walk. You get so that's where we're at now. Al Heyman has failed Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, and the fans. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it?
Boycott that. No. You ain't. I don't want to watch any fight now. Like,
I understand, and you have every right to feel that way.
I honestly hope like he doesn't take a Keith Thurman fight. Like that's not what we wanted. That's like not even close.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he still feels the same, and he tells Al that he doesn't want that fight, and he wants to fight Terrence still.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, people hate.
That weight's tough. I know that. I mean, he wanted to make that fight next because it's getting there, but it's just crazy.
Al Heyman is destroying Errol Spence's body. I don't know it to be true, but I think he's just destroying Errol Spence's body, man. Because imagine starving your body for a whole year. Not starving it, but it not being 100%. You got to count calories and shit. You got to pay for a chef. Imagine how much money he's paying for a chef just to keep his weight to 165, 168. Earl looks in good shape. I saw a video that Ellie posted or somebody else posted. I think it was Ellie. You understand? So I saw him doing like these rolls, him and Frank Martin. So he looks in good shape. Terrence Crawford, as you guys saw, looks in tremendous shape. So I mean, they're in position to make the fight. They're physically in position to make the fight. But it's it's just a tragedy,
I mean,
man. What's
they're
up?
in position to make the fight. They're physically in position.
It's just a tragedy, man. This is a tragedy, and I don't blame the fighter. I want to blame Terrence Crawford, but I can't lie to y'all. I really can't. I swear I can't lie to y'all like this and come in here because I have no allegiance to no promoter, no fighter, no nothing. You see how hard I am on Devin Haney? I have no issue being that hard on Spence. I have no issue being that hard on Wilder. None. Matter of fact, I think I'm the only one saying no. I've heard 78 in the past years back say the same thing. I've heard him say it too, but he hasn't consistently said as much as I've said it. But about about Charles Martin giving that belt to Anthony Joshua. You know, that derailed Deontay Wilder's career and his place at the bargaining table. It changed everything. Imagine Wilder with two belts and Joshua with 2 belts. No, nobody has more power than the other. So, you know, it completely changed the dynamic of the sport. You know, out of these men, greed. Why do you think you're getting Fury Chisora 3? Greed. People gonna buy. You're gonna get 500,000 buys in the UK, and you're gonna get a sellout crowd, and you're gonna make some millions. Simple. If it wasn't making money, they wouldn't have did it.
That's a pay-per-view too, or?
Well, in the UK, everything is pay-per-view. I heard. So I don't know.
Yeah, that fight is laughable. Like that's the most pointless fight of the year, probably.
It is one of the more points. I actually want to
Yeah.
call Bob and laugh at him for making that fight. We got Dr. Phil on. What's up, man?
What's up? How you guys doing? You all right?
Hey, we great.
Hey, what's
Good.
up, man?
Good. Yeah. Well, I mean, I listened to some of what Terrence said. I think the thing that sizzled in my spirit, so to speak, is when he said they both got offered $25 million, and he called and let Spence know that, and never heard from him again. So that, and then I guess he said he started working with Al Heyman in that regard about that particular amount of money that was offered. So for me, I'm not going to put the blame one way or the other. I'm not going to try to do that. All I'm going to say is what the guy said in regards to the numbers that were available, and the fact that Spence came on, and I've said this before, when the Ugas fight was getting ready to happen, and he said, "Hey, you guys, support this Ugas fight. We're gonna make the Spence fight next." And that was the big thing. And then as soon as that fight was over, he had that. It looked like he was even gonna break down a little teary-eyed, talking about when he wanted Terrence next. But so I was looking forward to seeing that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I can't support PBC until that fight's made. And if it never gets made, then I'll never buy another PBC pay-per-view. And I'm one of them people that I don't stream the fights. The fights I want to see, I pay for them because I think that's only right. Those guys are in there risking their lives. If you watch the fight, you need to pay for what you watch. So if you don't want to pay the money, then don't watch the fight. So I pay for all the fights I watch. I would continue to pay for PBC fights, but I don't like to get okie doked. Don't tell me you're gonna do one thing if I do something, and then when I carry my end of the bargain and I buy the Ugas Spence fight with the contingency that Spence is going to fight Crawford next, then all of a sudden it doesn't happen. That leads me to my one question. Mm-hmm. I saw you on I think it was yesterday, Fred.
Yes.
And you were talking about how you talked to Al Heyman, and he said Spence was moving up to 154. Were you being satirical there? Or you?
No, I was being serious. I was. I mean, it was a satire, obviously. But yeah, he's my source says he's going up to 154.
So did you talk to Al Heyman?
No, I didn't talk to Al.
Oh, you didn't talk to Al. Okay.
No, I did not. No.
Okay, all right. So you fooled me because I thought you were serious. I thought you
No,
were serious.
no,
I thought you actually did talk.
I didn't talk to no.
Yeah, because I was like, man, that's okay.
I'm having
All right,
fun
so
with Al. I'm having fun with Al. That I'm getting.
Oh, you're having fun with that. Okay.
Mm.
All right, because I know your recurring theme in regards to Al is he's the biggest piece of manure since the dinosaurs went extinct.
Man.
I mean, that's basically what you've been pushing on a regular basis. So it kind of amazed me that you guys had a great conversation. And then someone told me that was impossible, but I was like, well, let me see if that's
No, it's impossible. It's definitely impossible. Al would never call me.
Okay. All right. So you still consistent with that approach or that?
Yeah, I'm just finding different ways to present my information.
Right.
That's all.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's we're in a pickle, man. Fighters and the fans need to come together. What's up, Saul?
Yeah, I think it's good that Terrence did that though, because now everybody can see like what kind of, who's to blame, and then they can see like even the media, they can finally say, oh, yeah, it is Al. Like he's the one that's holding all these fights up and causing all these problems and whatnot, So like it's kind of good that it's all out in the air by Terrence, someone that's not a part of PBC, not like everyone else that's scared to talk, like Sean and the Benavides family and all of them, you know what I mean? It's really good that this came out because,
It is.
I know we personally hear it from you, but not everyone else knows, So like it's good that it all got ventilated out and people can, they're gonna show that video on YouTube. It's gonna be, hot topic tomorrow.
Oh,
If
big
not
time.
already tonight,
Big time.
all the promoters are gonna be questioned about it. Bob, Eddie, and it'll be good.
So you guys saying it? You're saying that you don't believe Terrence? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know his details, but the story that he says lines up with what I know. I knew BLK offered money for this fight.
Right.
I didn't know how much.
I'm one of those guys that, being a mathematician, people lie. Your mama may lie. Even your dad may lie, but the numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, man. Right. So when he mentioned that $25 million a piece on the front end, and that he said that Spence told Spence about it, and rationalized to him that there are people who steal the fights. So having that $25 million up front guaranteed, and he was willing to go 80-20 on the back end after everyone's paid off. I mean, what else could you ask for, man? I mean, what else could you ask for, really, given the state of affairs now where, everyone's still in the, well, I'm not going to say everyone. I'm going to say there's a lot of people that are not paying for the fights.
It's getting higher and higher, though.
So, I mean, the bottom line is that and here's the other thing that bothered me about what Crawford was saying. He was saying that he was talking to Al, and then when he called Spence directly, Spence was looking for reasons not to make it. But then, even with the money the way it was, the $25 million, he never even called Terrence back to talk on that one-on-one level, and so for me, that's a problem because if I remember right, Spence almost broke down. He was very emotional and frustrated when he said, I want Crawford next after that fight. Right? He said that. So the man's coming to him one-on-one and initiating, hey man, I got a great deal for both of us. And then, he doesn't respond to him in kind, and to follow up on that offer, to give him his stance on it, even if he didn't have a solidified stance at the initial conversation, then, it seems like to me that's, I don't know. I'm just saying that doesn't meet the common sense check. If you really want to fight, you got $25 million up front. The dude tells you can go 80-20 on the back end, of course, in his favor. And he's bringing to light all the environmental factors that affect how that fight's going to generate money, based on people still in the fight, and all the different things that can happen. That having that type of guarantee up front was a heck of a deal.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought him being man enough to call him straight, directly and discuss it, and didn't have any follow-up from him in that same vein. I mean, one-on-one, calling him as a man and speaking to him, letting him know where he stood on it. Then how much did he really want that fight? That's just a question. That's just the question I'm posing. To me, it's a legitimate question, because it seems like he should have returned that same phone call, even if he couldn't make the decision right there when they initially talked one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Then
he should have been able to come back and say, okay, well, this is what I feel about that, and this is why.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
And before San Antonio, didn't KP get off? The moment Al Heyman knew it was a threat, you got to separate. You got to separate the variables. You understand? It's like two boys getting into a fight, or two friends having such a good time in class that the teacher had to separate them. Whichever example you want to use, and that's the threat. And then so I would assume Al would tell Earl, man, that's not a legitimate company. We'll obviously get you more long term, your back end to be bigger. Yada yada yada, this and that. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I think. And but like I said, man, like, why would these PBC fighters not trust Al?
What's that? I mean, you know what? I don't think it's an issue of trusting. We're not even talking about that right now. We're talking about just common sense, right? Common sense is, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Sure. You know what I mean? You're talking $25 million up front, guaranteed.
I would agree with you. I would agree. 25 million.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, I don't care. He can go up fight. He can go up to 154. He can fight Boots Ennis. He can fight, whoever. That kind of money's not coming back in the at 154 or 147.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how that didn't happen.
Right. Yeah, San Antonio.
What's up, Fred?
How you feel, dog?
Feeling good, dog. Man, you need to take a victory lap, Fred.
He definitely said everything I've been telling y'all, but go ahead.
It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, bro. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you though. Some of these fighters need to start taking some accountability, Fred. I mean, I love Earl Spence and everything, but come on, man. You ain't fought since April. You're not gonna fight this year. When you gonna fight? Maybe March next year or April again? You're fighting once a year in your prime, man. You're throwing away your prime for a loyalty to a guy that obviously doesn't have your best interest and loyalty towards you. It's crazy, man. Think about the Charlos right now. They ain't fought. One of them ain't fought the whole year, and he's not gonna fight till maybe middle of next year, if the money's there. Right. So the way that he's just taking these fighters prime from them, where they could really make money, because you got to think about it, man. Boxers only got, a good 4 years if they're lucky, Fred, of the actual prime. Elite fighters, and you're taking these paydays away from them, and having these guys turn down fights and stuff, which is crazy, man. It's crazy to see it. Right. And I think some of these fighters need to be held somewhat accountable.
Sure, and that's fair. And I'm not getting in the way of that. I'm not getting in the way, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for yourself, right?
Exactly, man. How Leo Santa Cruz get a fight Adam Mars 3 times in Staples, and you seen that, Fred? And Gary Russell ain't even. Gary Russell went and hugged Leo's dad. Man, he still couldn't make the fight. That was a promotional kickoff right there. Could you imagine that right there, Fred? Like, man,
yeah, you're right.
That's crazy. And No wonder Leo Santa Cruz named his firstborn after that man.
Oh yeah,
Shit.
yeah, he got hooked up for sure.
Oh
But,
man.
but and realistically, and by the way, it was twice, not three, because I could hear people in the chat like,
Oh yeah, that's twice.
oh yeah, it was three. He don't know what the fuck. It was two. He don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Everyone misspeaks when you talking
Fred know I
spontaneously.
know boxing, bro.
Yeah. So, but it trickles down. First, it was Gary Russell, right?
Yep.
And then it was Adrian Broner. And then it was Jamal Charlo. And then it was Tank Davis. And then it's Earl Spence. And then it's so and so. So it trickles down. And now everyone is comparing notes like, hold up. See, I'm only speaking pragmatically, but I'm going to 100% agree with you. Everyone's responsible for themselves. I'm not alleviating from that, but I'm dictating to you human nature, right?
No, I agree. You're right about that.
Yeah. So
it just sucks, man. It sucks to see, what's if Earl Spence doesn't have this fight 10 years from now, him and Crawford gonna be looked at like the guys that didn't fight each other, and the narrative changes from like all these guys were this or that to I don't know, they never fought each other. Were they scared? Were they this? You know what I'm saying? And the media can manipulate that, and it's
gonna be similar to Bo versus Lennox. That's what it'll be.
That's exactly what it's gonna be, and there's always that question mark around their career.
Yeah, because they have because if you think about it, neither one of them has had the level of fight that Bo had with Holyfield or Lennox had with whoever he rivaled. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what, no matter how good their careers have been, they haven't rivaled those heavyweight rivalries. They haven't even come close.
Right.
I'll say this. Really is showing a lot because he came out and speak. Most people don't come out and speak. We always was begging for him to come out and say something. And he did. I never been a big Bud supporter or nothing. I've been a Spence supporter. What I'm seeing is this. They basically have Team Heyman or whatever them. They have everybody mum. They don't allow anybody to speak on anything. So now that Bud has come out, all these reactions gonna come to it tomorrow. But Spence ain't gonna come out and say it because he never does.
I was like, I wonder if Spence is gonna come out and
I don't know.
Say tomorrow or something.
No, they're gonna talk to him and he's not gonna say anything. But this is the thing though. Just read the tea leaves of it all. You did not get Charlo versus Benavidez, Charlo versus Plant, right? They're in the same stable. You did not get Tank Davis versus Gary Russell, right? You did not get Tank Davis versus anybody else around that weight class that he could have fought around PBC. But the biggest fight they could have made was Gary Russell in Maryland, right? It's very simple. It's a big fight, no matter where you do it. Now, what you're seeing is that they didn't make all those fights. They made their fan base angry at not making those fights over time. Because you start to watch and you start to see that you're not getting what you're supposed to get. But you keep getting these guys still in there. Like Uzgataki has Benavidez. How? Like it makes no logical sense if you add it all up, right? And you start to watch how they moving and they move their fighters. It's like it's very disheartening to watch. But if you had that much money put out there, like Fred said, you got to separate them. And this is what he means by that. I don't know if any of y'all have ever like wholesale the house. You ever heard of wholesaling, Fred? I know you have, because Tony the closer teaches it.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys was teaching it, right?
100%.
So I'll explain the process. You get an agreement with a homeowner that owns the house. Let's say they own a house that they don't want. You get an agreement. The price is, let's say it's $10,000 for the house. Well, you mark it up to $13,500, which you'll make $3,500 when you go to close it.
I know dog houses that cost that much, man.
Yeah, okay. Just listen. Just follow it, Mike. Don't follow it, Mike. So look, Mike. Okay, I'm gonna put you in the right mind frame, Mike. Mike, a house on 35th and Prospect, so you know where I'm going, Mike.
Okay, all right.
13,500, right? So you get the house for 13,500, and you make 3,500 just by playing the middleman. But what you never do is you never let the buyer and seller meet, because if they meet, they find out that you're making money in between. But it's perfectly legal. throughout the states of the world, of the United States. But you'll make your money in between by presenting a house that's on paper for 10 grand for the seller, and you make the 3,500 by playing the middleman in between by presenting the offer to the buyer. And the buyer pay you 13.5, pay all the closing costs, but the key is to never let them meet. So what he's basically doing is never letting those guys consult with each other, right? They never were supposed to consult with each other at all. He's the middle guy. And when they start talking, you got to cut that communication off. Because it's going to mess everything up. The Wizard of Oz is going to be found out, basically.
No, and you're right, because that's what I told you guys the story last week on this house. I had a representative for this house and the house I was selling. And I told my realtor, fuck it, I'll just do it. And that's illegal, right? That's illegal because by law you have to separate it, right? By contract. And two, I had my home off market. I was hoping to sell it off market. But it didn't happen. I had a couple families.
And Fred, since you said off market, them is the kind of deals that wholesalers look for. They got to be off market. It can be nothing that's listed with a realtor.
Right. So I did my best to try and sell it off market. And a family came by. And we were $50,000 off. But I'm like, why don't they buy it? Like, it doesn't make sense why they shouldn't buy it, right? And but the reality is they didn't buy it. But I don't know what the communication was between the realtor and myself. I mean, the realtor and them, and because I never spoke to the family again. And now they're still in the hotel 4 months later. You get what I'm saying? So, but the reality is, once Al Heyman knew there was he had a threat. And this is what he's supposed to do. So when people say, oh, Al Heyman being the hater, this and that, it's what he was supposed to do to stay in business.
No, Fred. Hey, Fred, he did exactly what Eddie Hearn did to them when Wilder came with the money.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah, right.
He did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He did the same thing. When Wilder came and said, I got the $50 million for you, Anthony, Eddie Hearn flipped his lid. Because Eddie Hearn was trying to work the DAZN deal, remember?
Right.
In order for Eddie Hearn to get the DAZN deal, he had to have Anthony Joshua still undefeated. That was before Wilder ever fought Fury. The DAZN deal came right after that. You had to keep them separate. Because if he goes in there and fights Wilder, Eddie Hearn probably never gets the DAZN deal. So Eddie Hearn never be in control of all that money that DAZN was giving him for those fights. And then he put the fights on. Then he writes the paperwork for the fighters for a different amount. And then he makes off with the other money. That's how it's working. Like, I don't know why fans can't see this. Like, they must not have ever wrote a contract or nothing before in their life.
No, they fans. They fans before common sense. They fans before pragmatic. They're fans before anything, man. And that's why they. And that's why
I
they
used to think like a fan like that, but that no. Because look, if he lets them go over there, because Mike Fuller and Fred, think about this. If they was about to get $50 million from somebody, they could have had that fight anywhere, and it probably would have been overseas. But these dudes would have made all the money they wanted, and we would have bought it wherever they showed it on.
Yeah, your speakers are bad, by the way. Yeah, audio's bad. It's rippling again. But so you want to beam out and beam back in? Oh, we got L.
I switched.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up, L?
What's up, Freddie? What's up, everybody, man? Some good points have been made, man, and it was basically some things that I had been alluding to in the past about just using common sense, man, and seeing this for what it is instead of being fans.
Oh, we losing.
I talk to my cousin about this a lot of times when we talk about boxing. I said, man, you got to hop outside the realm of being a casual and being just a fan and use common sense. You know, I yelled this word out, you know, a few shows back when I was like, hey, man, don't we all got common sense? We all grown men. Like, fuck what the media is feeding us. Like, haven't we had, like, business deals we done made with people? Aren't we able to read people Don't we know what bullshit is when we see bullshit? Don't you understand in the business, it's kind of like a relationship with a woman. Everything is cool till you trying to get your way. But we always trying to see, okay, how much she gonna give me or how much he gonna give me. Like we trying to see what goes, and we play our hand until we get our way. It's the same thing that happened in business. Like I've mentioned this before. Why you think Earl Spence never called Terrence Crawford back? I told y'all this already. He was told, "Hey, don't worry about this. We got this." See, Al Heyman had a whole nother plan in mind. See, like you said, Freddie, his job was to do exactly what the fuck he did. Things was getting out of. It was a real possibility the fight was gonna happen, but it wasn't gonna be according to his terms. And then you got to understand he was dealing with a guy like Terrence Crawford who had no attachment. But just by understanding the type of person, see, Terrence Crawford is a different type of man in nature than Earl Spence. Don't make him a better person, but I can see that directly. Spence is limited. He a great fighter, but he's limited. He don't have total control over his career. He don't have as much control over his career as Crawford does. That's why when people was so hard on Crawford, like, oh, Crawford don't want the fight. Man, he got out the motherfucking top rank deal. What you think he got out the top rank deal for? That wasn't just because Bob Arum was fucking him and not paying him. He was happy with his pay because he kept re-upping. He specifically and more importantly, he got out that contract because he knew for sure he wasn't gonna get that Earl Spence fight with Top Rank. So this was his reason. So how could anybody logically blame Terrence Crawford that the fight didn't happen when the man forwent his guaranteed paydays, fighting twice a year? He forwent those paydays to go get this deal, and now you're gonna tell me that he's holding up the fight? Nah, he ain't holding up the fight. It's PBC side, and I'm not saying that's on Earl Spence, but Earl Spence is limited. He ain't got no power over his control, man. He signed the dotted line, and you know what happens? Anytime you sign a contract, right, and you doing business with somebody that has authority over the deal, you basically signing over ownership. You own nothing. You have to agree to terms and conditions that they dictate, which is not bad. If you want to go in business like that, that's cool. That's on you. But understand, you don't have total power. So for people to, like, that's logic. Like, let's just use logic. That's logical thinking. So
what did I tell you? What did I tell you the other day, Il?
What?
I told you our people run their logic through their emotions, bro. All the
time.
Yeah,
great point too. You're right. And that's what has happened. And it's a disgusting thing that has transpired throughout this whole ordeal for the last couple of years. Man, media and a bunch of fucking imbeciles on YouTube have totally took this in a deplorable direction. Right. Man, you got people that actually hate Earl Spence, and you got people that actually hate Terrence Crawford for some shit that they being for lies that's being dictated by the media rather than using your common fucking sense. Right. Why would I let a stupid ass narrative on that the media is about another black man to pit me against another black man? Just foolishness and ignorance. I'm allowing myself to be brought into that, like you said, KP, off of sheer emotions, and that's how they know they can dictate motherfuckers and sway their opinions and their actions by way of their emotions. That's politics, homie.
That's exactly what they do in politics. Hey, L and Fred, did y'all see this week? Al Sharpton came out and said, "You're not a man that's respectable if you don't vote for Stacey Abrams." All emotions.
Right. So what he basically about to do, he about to attack your manhood and make you feel like, well, I got to defend my manhood. Can't nobody make me defend my manhood by their opinion and by their foolery. And I'll slap the shit out of you, Al Sharpton, and show you, nigga. Take this, nigga. I'm gonna show you what a man really. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Nigga, man, I'm too smart, man. Like I say, Fred, and I told you this before, and I don't, and a lot of times I say things, and it's to exaggerate the appeal and the effect of it. But this is just true, man. It's a saying that says this in court. We know this. You guilty and you innocent until proven guilty. But we know as blacks, we guilty till proven innocent. That can go either way. Now watch this. The way this world is, and from my experience in dealing with humans and seeing how humans move and seeing how humans are able to be dictated, most people in this life are stupid motherfuckers, man. They are stupid human beings. They are void of intelligence. Why? Because look at the climate of our society. It's dictated by stupid people, and it's influenced by stupid people. That's influencing stupider people. You gotta show me as a human in this day and age. You gotta show me that you deserve my respect as an intellectual creature. Because by nature, I know you. By nature, I know most human beings are stupid because they copycats by nature. And just look at the climate of our society. Man.
Hang in there, Mr. P. I got you. Go ahead, Al.
Look at the kind of stupid shit that we are being dictated by on every level. It's senseless, man. But I ain't gonna hog. I'm gonna let somebody else get on. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, let me get Mr. P, and then we'll have Kyle again. Go ahead, Mr. P.
All right, greetings, Fred, and gentlemen, greetings. Man, I think what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing a lot of people are jumping overboard with this whole thing. From my standpoint, the fight's not going to happen. So take that for what you will. It's not happening. All right. It's the business of boxing. It's not about emotions. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. Everybody has their own rationales, their own agendas. Like the old saying says, beware Greeks bearing gifts. There's two sides to every coin. You hear one side and you running that way. You hear something from the other side, you run that way. That's not how this whole thing works. Al Heyman, yeah, he got a whole lot of stuff with him. We understand that, but he also is running his own business with the interest of business for himself and the people that he deal with. And Bud Crawford has every right to run business with his own interests, okay? But there's a lot of things that we don't think about, and there's a lot of things that are unknown. Who's to say? Because we know Crawford does have a little stigma with Earl Spence and vice versa. But, this could be an attempt, for all we know, is Crawford doesn't want to allow Spence to have his opportunity at Undisputed. Now, the problem with that is he also cuts his own hand off at the same time, because he's not going to have another time at Undisputed at 147 better than right now, because he hasn't shown through his career that he's willing to run the gauntlet to go get all the belts in that way. He didn't do it at any division, even at 140 when he did get Undisputed. So the point I'm saying to you is this. We're talking about fault. No, it's about agendas and it's about business. And that's what people have to understand. So I don't think that the fight is going to happen. It's just not going to happen, period. But from Terrence Crawford's standpoint, he's representing himself in the best way he can. Hey, God bless him. But I just don't really think that it's really going to work out that well, because this whole thing about seeing the books, what books are we talking about? The fight hasn't happened. It hasn't been structured. So what are we talking about looking at? You have to have something to look at. That's the thing about it. I'm going to leave it right there with you, Fred.
Kyle, and then we'll go Anthony. I got you, Anthony. Thank you, dog. Oh, Kyle, go ahead, Kyle.
Like I said once before, guys, everybody's to blame. There's blame to be had. I told y'all, everybody gets a whooping, man. Everybody gets a whooping. Nobody is clear of this. Everybody getting a whooping, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all broke the vase in grandma's living room. Everybody getting a whooping. I don't give a fuck who did it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting it. And that's what I'm trying to try to understand. Dude, y'all two on one side, man.
everybody is you all the way on Terrence Crawford side, you all the way on Earl Spence side, you all the way on the PBC. Bro, take a step back. Understand, you're not a part of anybody's camp. Okay? First and foremost, you're not a part of anyone's camp. Take a step back, okay? And look at everything else. You don't work for PBC, okay? You're not from Omaha, Nebraska. You're not a part of B&B Promotions. You're not a part of PBC Promotions. Shut the fuck up. Take a step back and just look at everything that's going on. Everybody wants to win the negotiation. That's what it came down to. That's what it always comes down to when deals fall through. Everybody wants to feel like they won a negotiation. And it's as simple as I could put it, man. You know? Everybody is to be blamed for this shit here. You can't blame Earl because Earl's not in charge of that aspect of his career. Al Heyman is. So the only person that's free and clear of all wrongdoing is Earl Spence. But everybody else will live getting a whooping. You know what I'm saying? He like the baby in the stroller. You know what I'm saying? He can't throw nothing. So he can't do shit. So everybody else got to get that work. Everybody is involved has got blame. And there's blame to be had on everybody. So don't be so strong on Earl Spence side. Don't be so strong on Terrence Crawford side that you can't see the truth. You know what I'm saying? Listen, as much as Fred hates the PBC, there's one thing I can say about this short bald head dude, man. He gonna give it to you real. He gonna give you the truth. Whether you like it or not, the truth is coming behind whatever he's about to say. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where I kind of live. Now, I told y'all this shit wasn't gonna happen. I said that shit before Fred said that shit, because Fred was like, oh man, I think it's gonna happen. I said, man, that shit ain't happening. He'll tell you that. I've been told y'all it ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm the main one. Listen, listen, when y'all come to my show tonight, we ain't talking about this. I'm just letting y'all, I just like having fun talking about it on other people's channel because I don't feel like talking about it on my channel. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. Don't be on one side all the way. Look at everything and then make your assessment and then make your judgment after that. But just to say, oh, he's wrong. Listen, let's keep it real. Everybody on this panel, if a motherfucker tell you that y'all finna split some shit, right? Y'all gonna look into it. Y'all not finna just say, all right, yeah, it's good, man. Go ahead, give me. No, bro. Let me see them books, nigga. You ain't finna just give me whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? You think I want or deserve, nigga? Open them fucking books if I want to see exactly what the fuck I earned. So that's the point I'm making, man. That's the point I'm making. And everybody got to get out the business. You're not a businessman. Step the fuck back and just look. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is a master
Hey,
promoter.
none of these
Everybody's
niggas YouTubers, man. We YouTube. You're right. Go ahead, Anthony, and then we'll go to Jerry.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to what Mr. P said. Now, even what Kyle said, because they pretty much said what I was gonna say. It all came down to the business. What it looks like, just from listening to Bud, you got Bud. He's operating freely, So and he's just looking at, hey, I want to make as much money as possible. And if somebody's talking about $25 million a piece, I can understand him listening to that. And then you have Earl Spence, when based on Bud calling him, it sounds like Earl Spence, he believes more in the model of pay-per-view. He probably if it was me, I'm not gonna say what he was thinking, but if it was me, first thing I'm thinking is, if somebody's willing to pay $50 million for the fight, damn, how much will pay-per-view do? So I'm gonna talk to my advisor, and we're gonna run these numbers and see. So if somebody's willing to pay that much, we probably do these type of numbers. It'd probably make even more. So that would have been where if Al was trying to keep it, keep it where he was in control of the outcome. He had leverage right there, because Earl Spence, he's familiar with the pay-per-view, and he's probably thinking, or if it's me, I'm just gonna say, if it's me, that's how I would be looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So that gave Al a little bit of leverage on it, to maybe even convince Earl, don't worry about it, I'm gonna find out everything, and we'll go from there, So you gotta, it's just no way that somebody could tell me I'm gonna get that we can get 50 million for this fight, and then I don't do the research. I don't have the person who's who's involved, like you say, has gotten me here, do the research on that and make sure or see if that's possible. You know what I'm saying? So he would have had to tell me that, or show me some proof that we can make even more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because other than that, no, let's get this 25 million, man. I need that 25 million. We can't make it. They're gonna guarantee it. So let's go get that. And I can't see why Al, at the same time, when he's getting a percentage of that, would say no to 25 million if you know you can't make it through pay-per-view. So, you know, it just doesn't make any sense, you know, to me. You know, that's just for me, because that's how I would operate. You know, those are the things that would go through my mind, you know, before I made that decision. And when you look at it, this could have been something that they were trying to figure out, but now the time is going, you know, time is steady going by, and Bud like, hey, I got 10 million. I'm gonna go and get that, man, because I got to fight this year.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
let me get Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry. Jerry.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Hey, welcome to the show, dog. Go ahead.
Good to see everyone on the panel. We all know that the fight's not happening anytime soon. I was optimistic that it could happen in the future, but after Bud Crawford breaking this cardinal rule by revealing the terms of their deal the way he did, I can almost assure you that fight's never going to happen. That's a cardinal rule that you don't break in boxing. And if you think about all the thousands of fights that have been made and the ones that haven't been made, fans don't get to see the official terms of the deal or what's being negotiated. It's unprofessional to do that. And if Bud Crawford had a promoter, see, he has the luxury to do it, and I understand why he done it, because he probably feels attacked. He gets on social media like anybody else. He feels a little attacked. But if he had a promoter, there's no way they would have allowed him to do that. And like I say, if you look at all the fights that have been made, we don't never get to see the terms of the negotiations. If he had a promoter, if he was still with Aaron would have told him, don't do that. Just let the fans think what they want, because most 90% of the fans already got their mind made up anyway, and they'll just take what you say and pick it apart. Business is business, and hearsay and fans talking, that's a whole different thing. But that's a cardinal rule, and he broke it, and now I don't think the PBC will have anything to do with him after that.
Fred, man,
Fred,
well, they wasn't gonna have nothing to do with him before that, bro. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand,
maybe not.
man.
Maybe
Listen,
not.
man.
But
the reason why Earl Spence
Hold on, can I finish my point, man? Fred cut me off.
Oh shit, I didn't know that shit. You
Yeah,
gave
he
the
cut me
Jerry
off, brought
shit.
Jerry in, because I wanted to talk on that.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, yeah. So as far as what, you know, as far as the next fight, them having the fight, I believe they're going to have the fight. And when you listen to Bud saying that somebody offered 25 million a piece to them, but he's still willing to go and take the fight for no guarantee or anything like that. You got to see, you know, you got to read between the lines. There's something not right, right there. You understand what I'm saying? So when he say he gonna spin the block and then he gonna meet up again, they're gonna talk about it again. I mean, it's something not being said right there. So that kind of questions that whole $25 million piece thing too. So anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Fans are going to make their own conclusions. Like El was saying, 99 times out of 100, they're going to make those conclusions without knowing really anything, or they're basically going to do it on the fighter that they like. The fighter that they like, they're going to believe pretty much what they say. So even though Bud did that, the detractors and the people that think he's at fault, they're still going to feel that way. However, you know, I'm a small businessman, nothing on the level of what the PBC or any of these promoters, but there's basic rules to business. That's why in the past, when there's been tough negotiations, you never seen any fighters come out with the contract and show you, okay, here's the contract. To try to clear their name. You can think about thousands of fights that have been made and ones that haven't been made. What you don't see is what he did tonight, and it's like betting in baseball. It's something you simply don't do. And like I say, Crawford has the luxury of doing that because he doesn't have a promoter. He's necessarily that he's tied to where they would have advised him, look, we don't want our business in the streets. Don't put theirs in the streets because not going to make a difference anyway. So business is business. Some things are to be confidential, and that's just how it goes. And I think he broke a cardinal rule there. And I don't know. To me, that's going to put a huge damper because if I'm Al Heyman, I'm thinking, nah, I can't trust this guy now. I can't trust negotiating with him. Not if he's going to reveal things that don't need to be revealed. It's going to be tough to even negotiate with them with that knowledge. So when Bud says, like I heard someone saying the other day, he had commented that he's never going to fight Spence. Maybe in his mind right now he's doing, because I gotta feel that Bud Crawford knows that cardinal rule, because he hadn't done it in the past. He never revealed any negotiations of any of his past fights. Now, of course, none of them got as sticky as what this one is, but maybe the Pacquiao fight, but you didn't see him, come up and say, okay, here's what they offer me and indulge those things. Bad business in my estimation.
Yeah.
Interject.
Go ahead, Sal. You want to say something?
This is Mr. P.
No, Sal. I wanted to go back around. Then I'll get back to you, Mr. P, if you don't mind. Go ahead, Sal. You got anything? Oh, Sal's not there. KP, what you got?
I think the thing that we're missing is that dude basically said everything he needed to say. They never got back with him themselves when he crossed them with the 25 apiece, right? That's because they didn't want to. They made a conscious decision not to do that deal. That's their decision. They came up and told us a long time ago. They've been saying it all year. It's very simple. What did they do last week when Lomachenko and Devin Haney were supposed to fight? They put them in a ring together. What did they do when Terrence Crawford came to Dallas? They didn't let him in the ring. Right? Mm-hmm. The man came to Dallas. They didn't let him in the ring. I'm just going by what they did on their track record. I want the fight.
That's fair.
I'm a Spence fan. I'm going by what they did. I'm not going by hypotheticals. This is what they did. What they did, too, is that they put Danny Garcia in that ring when Errol Spence had won that fight against, who was it? Sean Porter, and then he had the car accident, right? His next opponent was still Danny Garcia. Look, man, I'm just watching what they doing. I don't have time to
Great
play
point.
hypotheticals, man.
Great point. Hey, you're making great points.
They don't want to make it, man. Just fans, just get that in your mind. They want to tap you in my pockets. It's a recession. Why wouldn't they want to tap your pockets?
Right. I'm gonna respond to what Jerry said about Crawford releasing, the business, the business ordeal, everything, the information about the business. We can say that it was a dirty move by Crawford based upon,
I'm sorry.
But I'm gonna say this though. You can say that based on the history, but I'm gonna tell you like this though. I'm glad Crawford did what he did because now he exposed everything and he put everything on Front Street. So now you gotta, for one, I'm gonna tell y'all what Crawford did, man. Crawford, he surprised Al Heyman because, like I mentioned before, they was trying to bleed him out into accepting a bad deal. Now, Al Heyman thought Crawford was one. He thought he was stupid, and then he thought he was desperate. So he said, we're going to bleed this nigga out, and he going to have to accept the deal we going to have, that we going to give him. He gonna take this bad deal. Crawford held his ground. And now that Crawford exposing the bad business practices, if they come at him again, they know, oh man, we gotta respect this nigga. We gotta give him what he wants.
Right.
So I'm glad Crawford did that because he's standing on solid ground.
Right.
Like he ain't no fruit. Look, if you call yourself a man, how can you not respect that? You telling me, but that lets me know. Look, that just lets me know that the type of people we got in today's world where money can buy a motherfucker. Like a nigga will punk out for that dollar. I respect the nigga that's gonna stand on his ground. I respect
Hell,
any man that's gonna stand on his ground and do what's necessary to protect his interests and to protect his manhood and integrity. And Crawford, that kind of dude.
hell,
It don't surprise me that he did that.
hell.
Right.
It's that perspective is just a little bit flawed, because the thing that's going to happen with Crawford and Spence is undisputed. Okay, so that's what they got over on him, is that if you want to be undisputed, you take this deal. See that
Crawford already let it be known that he don't listen. I believe a man when he says something, especially when he double down on it, triple down on it. Crawford then already said, I don't need Earl Spence.
he
proven
need
that.
Earl Spence if he wanted to be 147 undisputed. That's all I'm saying.
All
So,
right, and watch this though. And I remember I told you this, Freddie, because this was at a time when you was I'm not gonna say you was bashing Crawford, but you was basically speaking out against things that he could have been better at, and some things was true. But I told you this, and specifically, I said, Freddie, what's wrong with a guy making $5 million a fight? Yeah, he can make 15, 20 million, 25 million and maximize his earning potential. But I said success, your success or this person or the society's success is not necessarily everybody's success. Like this man from Nebraska, he the biggest thing in Nebraska. He's living in Nebraska. 5 million is good for him, a fight. He might not have the same aspirations as you. I gotta respect the man.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about, man, because he still said out of Crawford's own mouth, he's going to have to go back over there because he still is interested in the undisputed. I mean, that's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, all that sounds good, but he got to go back over there if he want to be undisputed.
That goes right into my point. It's evident he wants to fight. It's evident that he wanted to fight. That's the main reason why he left Top Rank.
He left Top Rank.
But if you look at you look at all that,
he
still got to crawl back over there to who? Al Heyman and
He
negotiate with who?
He ain't got to crawl back over there.
Well,
if you making that analogy that he got to crawl back over there, he would have took the crumbs that they was offering. The man
was willing to.
The man just levitated his position. He's in a stronger position now than he's ever been, and that's because he took the risk of not taking that deal and doing things the way
you got to listen to the words that came out of Crawford's mouth. He said that he was going to take the deal even though it wasn't worth a damn, just to prove a point that he's the best. Listen to what he's saying, man. I mean, you can come up with all this,
they still didn't accept it. So what did I tell you?
Extra great black man and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if he wants to be undisputed, he's gonna have to go back over there and see Al Heyman.
This is Anthony.
Yeah. I'm not on either side. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Nah, man.
And what you're saying.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, brother. You make some good points, but I think your bias towards PBC and that side affects your rationale.
No, I'm not biased.
Bro, let me be honest with you, bro.
Okay.
You allow your biases to affect your rationale. And
explain my bias right now. Explain my bias to me.
I don't have to explain it. No, I got.
How can you say it if you can't prove it?
We ain't got to. It's been proven, man, over the week.
It ain't nothing proven. The only thing you can say is that I said that when Fred says these things, he's talking like he's talking the gospel, and it's not true. Okay, he's saying that they're going out of business, but he can't show me any type of monthly statements to show me that they don't have any money. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not biased at all.
Anthony,
I just like boxing.
Anthony, can I ask you this? Because you sell cars, right? If I start pulling up to your car lot and you ain't got no cars out there all the time, then evidently something's going on with the business. So what he's saying is basically they ain't having no fights.
But that's not true.
Wait, slow down, Anthony. Let me finish it. They're not having the fights that they were having. Something's going on with the business. That's all he's saying. That's all he said.
And wait, hold up, L. Cooking with the champ, and I'll bring you in, Kane. But Mr. P is biting at the bit because I know he wants to respond, involve himself in this conversation. Salute to Fred and the family in the chat. We got Jerry hanging in there too. Just came by to get my flowers. Told you Spence Thurman is next at AT&T, a sellout event. Well, it ain't gonna happen this year. I tell you that much. It's not happening December 17th.
Nah.
It just definitely ain't happening.
No.
And I don't think Earl taking that fight. Earl not fighting that man. You know what I mean? But Mr. P, you got something to say? You want to add something?
Well, yeah, a couple things. Earlier someone made a comment. I'm not sure which brother it was about numbers not lying. I had to disagree with you because numbers do lie when they cook the books and their thumb is on the scale. All right, numbers don't always tell the whole story. So that's one thing there. We're getting kind of hit ourselves about Crawford and him being a boss. This is his first fight of him being outside of a promotional company. He's never had that before. So he's not, stamped as an expert, genius businessman as of yet. Okay. Now, I agree he should go and get some money. It's an easy fight for him. You can't hold that man to not, something like that so he can feed his family. So that's fine. That's not a real problem. But it's in the midst of a lot of negotiations, a lot of things that he has said over this time period that's in contradiction. So he's been contradicting himself a lot. That's just a fact. Yeah, we know PBC are trying to do in-house stuff. The thought was Crawford was going to go over there. He didn't do that. Fine. But anybody that thinks that, this deal is going to be done anytime soon, you just fooling yourself with hope. It's not going to happen. It's not lining up the way it needs to line up from a business perspective to be amicable for all parties. So it's not going to happen.
Right.
That's why me and Mr. P can agree on stuff because we're thinking about it logically. And
okay.
I just said that. I said that 10 times already. But Fred, let me get in there.
Thank you, Kyle.
Let me get it. Let me get in on this stuff. I want everybody to understand something though, right? Everybody plays a part in this. Now
you said this already.
Yeah. I gotta reiterate because niggas act like they can't hear, Fred. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is why I hate talking about Earl Spence versus Terrence Crawford any fucking way. But the question of the day is this though. Should he have taken that deal for peanuts?
No.
Listen.
I said I apologize.
Yeah. So should he have taken that deal for peanuts? The PBC would have liked him too. Y'all would have liked him too. You think he can go into that room with that woman and tell her, yeah, I had to, I took whatever I could just to fight. He can't go in there and tell this woman that. He got mouths to feed. He needed to fight this year. He needed to fight this year. He needed this shit to happen this year. Right? Yep. So shit, nigga, hey, fuck it. I gotta get this paper. They playing, they dragging their feet. Fuck them. And the thing about it was, they thought that he was just gonna take whatever and what nothing else on the horizon. But little did they know. Listen, let's keep it a buck. If they knew BLK Prime was finna come out here and take that and just snatch that fight from under their fucking feet, you think they wouldn't have paid that man a little bit more money? Shit. So, like I said, man, everybody got fought in this shit. And I need y'all to understand that. So why y'all keep going back and forth on whether the PBC is wrong or right, they all wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford could have took the Devin Haney deal if he wanted that fight that bad. That's numero uno. And if PBC wanted that fight as bad as they keep telling everybody they did, they would have put that money up. And this is the thing. I've said this before. If you care that much about Earl Spence, you could take a loss every now and again. Because at the end of the day, you can claim it on your taxes. I done seen people take losses and claim it on their taxes and get it back. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, if they wanted that fight, they should have made it happen. And if you thought you was going to take a loss, talk to Earl Spence and say, hey, man, listen. Situation, this is what we got going on. Let me know what's up. That's the point I'm making. And L had a great point. They thought he would. He thought he was just gonna take whatever deal, and they thought wrong.
Yeah, they underestimated the man.
Yeah,
That's why I say don't ever. I'm gonna let you get off right here, Faye, but don't ever listen, man. It's unwise, and it's very unwise and very foolish to underestimate the intellect of a person. My grandma always told me, you never know what's in a person's mind, and I've come to learn. Hey, man, I ain't underestimated nobody. Go ahead, Fred.
Kane wanted to jump in. Go ahead, Kane. Then we'll get you.
Fred, what's going on, bro?
San Antonio. We good, man. What you got?
I just hopped on the show. I honestly haven't heard anything. So good evening to everyone. I don't know if you guys were talking about the Shakur thing, but I was like, man, that's just crazy to me, honestly, bro.
Yeah, we'll probably get to that tomorrow. But
I was like, that's just
you speak on it now. Feel free.
I was like, to me, that's just honestly crazy. That could have been Shakur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he escaped death.
Because I was like, I wouldn't have seen the video because I mean, the moment they said that he died off a dice game, I'm just like, man, I'm just like, you're worth so much money and you're out here doing some clown shit like that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. So like, I just completely ignored it. But then I got a notification that you posted a video that Shakur was there. I was like, no way. I was like, that's just horrible. One, because like they obviously gonna talk to him about what happened, the police. I mean, it's just a bad look too. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, to me, it just. I mean, the one point I really wanted to make is, does Andre Ward have an issue with Jay Prince?
It's something there. It's something.
Because like that's a person that he needs. Perfect role model, and then he left. He left last year. Just something's not adding up there. I feel like maybe he doesn't like how Jay Prince rolls now, or.
Well, he was forced to sign with Jay Prince. In case you got to know the backstory. He was forced.
I was looking that up because I saw that before I came on. I was looking that up to see how they're tied because I mean it had to make sense that they're.
It's a big deal. Oh, it's a big deal. It was a big lawsuit and all that shit. You got to go back. That's like 15 years ago. So 10 years ago, you got to go back and catch up on that. Maybe I'll do a video on it.
Please, but man, that's just. I feel like that's a perfect person for him to be around, and just like, especially during this type of time, like where you've got the influence of the people that you're hanging around with, and like that's a perfect role model. A guy like that made it out of the mud, did everything right, and like now he's not in this camp. So like, some I feel like maybe he saw something with Shakur that he didn't want to be with, or something with the Jay Prince, or. Something's just not adding up there. That's all I pretty much wanted to say. Then hopefully you make a video on that as well.
I will. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, for roughly 5 years, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather negotiating at different times, at different levels, for the fight that they eventually had. Nowhere during that time did either side, no matter how much media flack they were getting, expose the terms of the negotiations. Not in anything precise like Crawford did in this recent video. There's a reason for that. And there's also a reason why you haven't seen it in, like I said, thousands of fights that have been made. It's something you don't do. It's unprofessional. I got no problem with Bud Crawford being a man or defending his honor, all that happy shit. That to me has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, there's a code, there's a credo to doing business, and it gets adhered to. He is a free agent. He can kind of be a bit of a derelict in that, you know, he can go ahead and do that. I think it crushes the possibility of a future fight there with any PBC fighter. I mean, hell, I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. But if I'm PBC brass, I'm like, you know what? We can't negotiate with this guy because he's already shown he's gonna break cardinal rules, and it is a cardinal rule. If it wasn't, you would have seen what he did tonight. You would have seen that done before when the negotiations would break down and one fighter was getting flack or blame. You would have seen that. We would have seen this happen before, and you don't. And there, like I say, there's a reason for that. You know, So, to me, it's not about a manhood thing. I do agree with what boxing section says. Is people get too far off on one side or the other. Everybody wants to put blame. 9 times out of 10, people gonna put blame where.
I don't think no one's placing blame on anybody. I think 9 out of 10 of us are putting the whole package, except. I think all of us.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is look around and listen every night. All you hear is it's Bud's fault, or it's Spence's fault, or it's the PBC's fault. Everybody, and that's okay. I mean, that's a natural, I guess. But I think, like, if I was hearing boxing section, or if I was hearing them right, it's too much of that. It's too much one-sided. Like, it's definitely this guy's fault, or definitely that guy. Now, what Bud Crawford revealed. Typically, and especially in a long-going negotiation like that, there's going to be different terms, different revisements, all kinds of different stuff. He showed what he wanted to show. Now, Spence could come back and say, well, he didn't show you this. He showed you what he wanted to show you. And he could, and then it becomes a whole thing where everybody's business plan and all the business is out in the street. So I don't expect Spence to respond, but I think he probably could with stuff just as compelling.
Right. And before Champion Heart jumps in, I'll say that this will have no bearing on them attempting to renegotiate this fight, man. It's happened. Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn. Can we make money? Al Heyman, Oscar De La Hoya. Al Heyman, Bob Arum with all these fights. If there's money to be made, they're going to make the fight.
That's fine, but again, you're leaving out the one key distinction, which is him revealing.
No, Bob Arum did. You gotta read the lawsuit. Go ahead, Champion Heart.
I was just gonna call it tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow, Sal. Appreciate you coming through, dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick, and I'll let Champion Heart get on. I was just gonna say, like, real quick, this fight's dead. We could just focus on something else now, and listen to Champion Heart and all that. I just want to say real quick, I heard in your video you said like Clarissa Shields and then Shakur could have been one of the top guys for the year. I think also you forgot to mention Bevo. I know he's like under the radar, but
if he wins, you're absolutely right.
He Canelo, and then he beats Ramirez. That's 2 big names, and I think that's bigger than mostly anyone, right? I would think he's better than all the other wins this year. So if he wins, if not, then
that's a good one. Damn, that's a good one. God damn, that's a good one.
Name.
Thank you, dog.
Yeah. All right, you guys have a good night.
I'll tell you in a second. He was talking about if Bivol beats Ramirez Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Champion Heart. You're right. You dead ass right. If Bivol wins, go ahead. If Bivol wins, he's gonna win Fight of the Year. For sure, but go ahead.
Congratulations, Champion Heart. Congratulations for.
But I think that I think Devin deserves consideration, and I think Devin has a chance to win. I think.
Still on mute, champ.
My bad. Okay.
Congratulations, Champion Heart, man, for calling this bullshit.
Man, I told you all that fight was not happening, man.
Man, go drink your purple tea and get off the phone and go drink your purple tea.
I'm on it tonight, man.
He cooking for us.
I'm definitely on it tonight. Like Kyle said, if PBC wanted that fight, they would have made it happen. You know what I'm saying? The reason that the Thurman's gonna happen because if I'm not mistaken, they allowed him to cut the line, and WBA has made him Spence mandatory. Is that not right?
Yeah.
WBC.
No, not yet. Not yet. They said they're gonna talk about
next week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, they know how much money they can make off that fight, and the fact that they're gonna have it in Dallas, man, it's gonna sell out, and they know that. Mm-hmm. That's why they were trying to convince Bud to come to Dallas, but he wanted to be in he didn't want to come to Dallas. He wanted to go to a neutral spot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But had he agreed to come to Dallas, then they would have probably made that fight because they know they'd made that money because stadium would have sold out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the stadium's gonna sell out on that Thurman Spence fight.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely next. Better believe it. But yeah, man, I got to. I've been so busy making stuff for everybody else. With the I got calls to make the purple tea and the ginger tea, and I hadn't been on my own stuff. I'm making stuff for everybody else, man. So it's trying to get me, but I ain't gonna let it.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Welcome home. Go ahead, KP. You've been silent for a long time, dog.
Yeah, I think it's obvious what Champ said, man. Fights they want to make, they want to make. Let's follow the tea leaves. Are they gonna make the Tank versus Ryan fight? They keep floating out there as a rumor. I don't think they making that fight. So I don't got time to be going back and forth with people trying to say PBC PBC are doing this or they doing that. They're not making any fights. I mean, damn, bro. It's very simple. They in the fight business, but they not making fights. If I didn't have no cars and I was selling cars, like Brother Anthony, people that came to my lot would be like, damn, man, you still in business or not? It's very simple, man. I don't have to play the loophole game and all the goofy stuff, man. It is what it is.
Right.
I'm glad your voice is in here tonight because you're making great sense, man. Anybody else want to jump? Anthony, obviously. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just so you know, I got out of that business where I retail to retail customers. I'm strictly wholesale. I buy.
We're just making a point. We just making
dealers. Yeah, I just wanted you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, no, I mean, when you say they're not making any fights, that's just not being honest.
Why do you play semantics with all the words?
Yeah. It is just.
I mean, well, say what you really mean. I mean, they're not making the fights that you want to see. But when you say somebody's not making any fights,
they're not making fights nobody want to see. Even China people don't want to
see. Hell, you don't want to see him, Anthony.
You didn't want to see Ugas and Spence fight this year?
And that was 8 months ago.
That was 8 months ago. No, we didn't want to see that bullshit. No, we did not.
I did. Did you? Y'all didn't watch it?
No, you did not.
Now. The point.
No, you did. You did not want to see that fight over Terrence Crawford. No, you did not.
He had to do what he said he was going to do first.
Hay is for horses.
He had to do what he had to do what he said he was going to do.
No, he didn't have to do nothing. No, he didn't. No, he
didn't. See, y'all pointed at me and say, "Hey, you pro PBC, you pro this, that's just what you want to go with." No. But hold on, you guys are pro destruction of PBC.
I only think
if we want to say that, then, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm just talking and being a logical person about it. I'm not trying to say one thing or the other. He said they don't have any fights. I mean, come on, just don't say it if it's not.
That's
true.
not the conversation we're having. Stay within the realm of this conversation.
Listen,
going
man.
out of the realm. Go ahead.
You splitting hairs, man. Stop. Quit.
He's not splitting hairs.
He's splitting hairs. Not you, Fred. I'm talking about Ant.
He's COINTELPRO. He's COINTEL. That's what it is. He's COINTEL Anthony. This is what this is, man. This is what this is.
So what he
said he's not been announced. The WBC president said this week we are mandating KP, I'm gonna mute you. We are mandating whoever that is. That's Anthony, obviously. We are mandating Spence versus Thurman at next week. And he said, "Oh, it's not done yet." Man, I'm not playing these games, man.
He said Keith Thurman's name. I listened to him on TBV.
Come on, we done. And
play the song, Fred.
Y'all need to
play the
be
goddamn
real, man.
song,
Y'all say
Fred.
y'all real, but then y'all sit here and y'all pump out these narratives that's not totally true. Now imagine somebody who doesn't listen to the boxing channels and stuff like that, doesn't really hear this stuff that's going on, and they hear you guys. What are they thinking? Okay, so don't tell me I'm this way, that way. Be honest about who you are then.
Hey, watch this. Hey, watch this, Anthony. Listen. I don't agree with everything nobody say. And like a lot of these conversations that Fred bring up on his show and that he's making point on, man, me and Fred argued about these points back and forth. Like me and Fred don't agree on a lot of shit. But I can say this right here. The man ain't always right, but he damn sure ain't always wrong. And with this one right here, he's being right. He might have not been right on every different level. He might have overstepped sometimes and overspoke and jumped the gun, but he was on to something though. And the proof is in the pudding, man. Like I always say, I'm not anti Al Heyman. I'm not anti PBC. I want them to succeed because for one, for the most part, it's a black man that's heading the company. For the most part, he don't got total power. I know that for sure. But for the most part, it's represented by a black man. I want the company to succeed. But I can tell you this, he bit off more than he can chew. And because of some of his shady business practices that are evident now, for those who didn't see it before, man, that shit coming to fruition, man. It's coming to head. It is what it is, man. Ain't nobody perfect, man. I don't give a fuck who he is. Nigga make a mistake, he make a mistake, call it on him, keep him accountable, black or white or Mexican. I don't give a fuck who he is. Just because a nigga black don't mean he gonna be able to push no bullshit on a nigga. But a lot of niggas gonna try to do that to you. But again, like I mentioned with you, it's been a recurring thing for you to say things that are irrational and illogical, but it makes total sense based on the type of business that you in. Like it's commonly known that car salesmen are the shadiest motherfuckers around. Now I'm not knocking you on your business practices because there's a fool born every day, and it's a fool out there just for you, and you're gonna benefit off of it because he's gonna spend his money with somebody. So hey, take advantage of that business opportunity. But at the same time, you can't knock a person for having the brain and seeing through the bullshit. But you're supposed to push your line. You're supposed to push your envelope. I get it, but understand that rational people that have logical sense is not gonna buy the bullshit and respect the difference. It's just like with a woman. If I'm pushing game on a woman and she can see through my shit, you know what I've already gained with that woman? I've gained her respect. Because damn, I'm a cold Mac. I didn't lace a lot of chicks with game. And they ate it up, and I got my way. But you telling me I can't respect a woman that's gonna see through the bullshit and call it for like it is? Come on, man. You can't play everybody for a fool because everybody not a fool, homie.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Just respect the difference.
Go ahead, Jerry.
You see, no, Mr. P was waiting for you.
It seems like the topic
I'll
is
get him
about
next.
PBC and stuff. Seems to be an ongoing topic. I'll say, try to make it brief. 4 years ago, the PBC was the toast of boxing with their Showtime and Fox format. They had a bunch of good fighters, which mostly they still have, and they're putting on good fights. Literally, they were the toast of boxing. The key thing I see that has changed since then is Showtime has lost a huge chunk of their subscription base because their movie format subscription base has become antiquated due to other movie streaming apps where you don't have to subscribe $30 a month. You can just buy the movie that you want to watch. And therefore, with losing that subscription base, which is well documented, they has cut their budget drastically. The same thing happened to HBO, and HBO got clear out of boxing. Their original programming, which you see now on HBO and Showtime more, is the only one thing that's kind of really still keeping them afloat. So when the Showtime is not investing in boxing, regardless of whatever right moves Al Heyman has made or whatever wrong moves he's made, when they're not going to invest, that's going to affect Al Heyman because he's the boxing provider. So to me, 90% of it is that. That's why you started seeing less cards, less competitive cards. You started seeing all these fights going on pay-per-view, fights that got no business being on pay-per-view. And I'm pretty sure Al Heyman and them guys over there know that. But if your provider and the guy you're in business with is no longer investing, you have no choice. If you're going to still stay in business, you got to do something to try to keep the ship afloat. So the problem, and I'm not saying Heyman hasn't made mistakes. All promoters make mistakes, but it's just like this. If I'm slinging good weed on the street, and I got a guy that's providing me the best weed, and I'm getting good weight on it, and then all of a sudden the weed ain't no good no more, and he don't have it, he only got a little bit. Well, guess what? That's going to hurt me. Same thing, what you're seeing there. Showtime and Fox are not buying boxing, and it's affecting Al Heyman.
All right. And
hey, Jerry, is it something you want to tell us, man? Mr.
No,
Weed Man?
no,
Allegedly.
no, no,
Hey, Jerry been
Jerry
around,
got the
man.
sack.
no,
He keep telling everybody he didn't grow up with brothers, man.
no.
Jerry broke that down too cold.
Nah, what he did. Nah, what he did was is I'm talking to a bunch of black people, so they'll understand this analogy. But anyways, let me say this,
Fred, you
man.
ain't shit,
I
dog.
know. But let me explain this. Is that I just got a text from PBC, and they said the fact that Devin Haney got close to $3 million guarantee, and Terrence Crawford didn't get tells you something there. And two, I want to say this: Earl is going up to 154, right? What do you think is going to happen next year? They're gonna make the Canelo fight. They're gonna make Earl is working his way up to Canelo. And that's gonna be the play, man. And
that's coming. I don't think next year, but I do agree that that's
no,
coming.
it gotta be on Canelo's schedule. And it's May and September. May and September. And I guarantee
54 is still a long cry from 68.
No, they're gonna.
I mean, I know Spence is big, but he's not. You know, Canelo ain't gonna come down too far from that 68 mark if he comes down at all.
Give me that 60.
That's going.
Yeah, he'll do it for 75 million. What the fuck you talking about?
Nah, I don't know, man.
Man, you fucking crazy, man. You don't understand this shit. 75 million to fight a guy whose career is at 147? Shit,
Yeah,
you crazy.
Well, you know, first off, Canelo gets $40 to $50 million and been getting that for 4 or 5 fights now. You think he's going to sacrifice, come down to 160, and probably take a loss at that?
I don't
weight?
think you understand what $25 million look like. I don't either, but I've seen it in movies, like, you know what I mean? And when I go to hotels and shit, I see like the hotel in downtown Vegas that has $1 million in it. I forget the name of that hotel. It's in old Vegas. I've seen $1 million. You know what I mean? And imagine 25 of those things. He'll go to 165, 166 for 75 million.
No, I didn't say he wouldn't do that. I said he wouldn't go to 160. But 154 to 166 is still a huge jump. Spence going to need a year and a half to 2 years to make that type of jump.
Well, he ain't
my
got.
opinion.
Well, they tried to do it this year, but Canelo turned it down.
Brother. Mr. P, just jump in.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
I'm sorry, Mr. P.
Close to happen.
Go ahead, Mr. P. Go ahead, Mr. P.
Well, some good. I was just listening. Good dialogue there. I think essentially what we need to look at, we're talking about essentially 2 black companies at this point, with PBC and the new venture with BOK Prime. Hopefully, I'm like this. Anything that can help boxing, I'm for it. And then you got our brother Blue over there. Of course, we want him to do successful. The little research I've done, there's some checkers there that I don't think a lot of people, especially Fred's, gonna probably not sit well with. I don't have an issue with it per se, because a lot of people have checkered backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? So no big deal for me, as long as moving forward is in the right direction. However, it may not be a good thing either. It may become problematic. We don't know yet. I mean, only time is going to really tell how that unfolds. But what I will say is, this is Terrence Crawford's first venture outside of being with Top Rank. So I think he kind of took a little position as if, he's a boss and Spence is not. And I think he's probably doing that a little bit premature. And I do have to agree, I think, with Jerry. He made probably a bad move from a business standpoint of revealing too much. That could come back to haunt him on the back end. We don't know yet. We'll just have to see. But I personally don't think that this fight is going to happen. At this point, I don't have an issue with Earl Spence moving to 54 and not fighting Thurman or Crawford, because, we love to have seen it. But as I've said, before, you all may know, maybe not, the meal is overcooked at this point. I'm going to leave it there.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Good stuff.
No, I wanted to say something to y'all though, right? This is what y'all been wanting this whole time. Oh man, he doesn't talk, he doesn't say anything. Now when the motherfucker say something, y'all don't like what he say. I mean, y'all gotta pick a fucking side and stick to it. I mean, god damn.
Right.
The man,
I'm gonna disagree
ask
with
the
you,
man.
Kyle. I'm gonna disagree with you. Only reason I say that is because I preferred what they were doing before, not talking about it, because I felt like if we were gonna have any kind of progress, it was gonna be behind the scenes. But I'm just in the minority. I know you're not talking about me.
Mr. P, did it happen though? But did it happen though?
It didn't. I don't think
so
it will
whether
happen.
whether he didn't say something or he did say something, it didn't happen. So it doesn't matter because it didn't happen. Whether he was quiet in the background and didn't say nothing about negotiations, or he said something about negotiations, it didn't matter because it did not happen. So I mean,
I've noticed you noticed that he didn't reveal this stuff during the negotiation. It's now that the fight's clearly not happening that he's saying it. He didn't say it then during. He at least knew better not to do it then.
Now watch this though. The fact. Look, just think about this logically. See, I always pick up on the minuscule details of things that just alert me. Remember this. When have you ever heard in a build-up of a fight, oh, keep quiet about the negotiations? Like that was a big story.
We're losing you.
Terms. Why do you have to overemphasize that point? They've overemphasized that all the way up, basically letting it be known like, yeah, Crawford, don't say nothing because I know based on your character and the type of man you are, we kind of sense that we fucking you over and we know that you know this. And we know that being the man that you are, being a free agent, being a man of integrity, honest, you might say something. So that let me know that they was trying to fuck the man the whole way along. Like it doesn't surprise me that this has been a bad deal as far as for Crawford. Like, come on. Like, doesn't that make sense to y'all? Like, when have we
why wasn't he saying so then? During?
Because he's in negotiations.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't make sense. I'll tell you why it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't make sense. Because I watched Terrence Crawford on live TV standing right next to Bob Arum, who was consistently fucking him, who basically badmouthed him and tried to undermine the man's career. And he had a chance to say something, and all he could do is hold his hands up, shake his head, and look at Bob. That's what happened. That's a fact.
Now
he didn't say anything then.
Not only that, but just his recent video, he's contradicting himself because he's saying somebody's gonna give us $50 million, but he's saying I'm gonna go ahead and make this fight. I mean, it's just too much in there, man.
You can't knock Crawford for that.
I'm not knocking anybody.
We're not knocking him. I'm just saying the man is doing damage control for himself. That's what that
the
is.
effects of being in a bad contract and signing a bad deal when you're young and need money. Like
young, that was last year.
Everybody know Crawford doesn't need money. He been making $6 million a fight, bro.
Twice though.
It's a different.
You gotta respect that.
Jesus Christ. I think that Crawford has the right to say what he wanted to say.
Agreed.
Because the negotiations are dead in the water and in a court of public opinion, which affects his bottom line. And which impacts his star power. Earl Spence is twice the star he, at minimum, twice the star he is. And you guys are going to see it when you wake up in the morning about the YouTube channels that's going to say Crawford lying, Crawford this, Crawford that. But what's been universal, a white man has said it, a black man has said it, a notable reporter has said it, a notable YouTuber has said it. The fact that he went into this fight agreeing to all the terms, and the only request is that he sees what's going on. And 100% of us, I'm not even going to entertain anyone saying otherwise. Because when your wife spends too much money, when your son spends too much money, what'd you spend it on? When you bought your house, what's the interest rates? What's this for? What's that for? How many points am I giving you? 1.5, 2.5, 3. So let's cut the BS out. When he said, I wanted to see what the hell is going on, and he doesn't have a promoter representing him, what Bob Arum said is, I'm going to use him as a reference point. Bob Arum, and I want to ask Bob Arum this. Al Heyman, he accepted Al Heyman into the Good Boys Club after that court case, because he accepted Bob Arum's terms, because Bob Arum said, well, if he had a promoter, deal would have got done. Because there is something that goes on, and you know what Al Heyman wanted to keep? Those international rights, the merchandising, the advertising. That is something that I'm willing to bet 100% of PBC fighters has never even, or whatever it is. It could be the international rights. It could be the merchandising. It could be the advertising. No PBC fighter has ever audited Al Heyman. Not one. And I've been saying this since 2015, but not on the Al Heyman side, on the Bob Arum side, on the Golden Boy side. If you fight a pay-per-view fight, you need to audit your promoter. You need to go to the network and say, what is the budget for this fight? They must disclose it, because it is illegal. And especially when you're a publicly traded company, you cannot lie financially. It is against the law to lie financially if you're a publicly traded company. And now that everybody's in it now Fred don't give a fuck. Now, I was biased towards PBC and I was more lenient negatively towards the other three. But now it's like, at the end of the day, Crawford, the one thing we can stand on is Crawford agreed to Al Heyman's terms with the ability to opening up the books.
Well, I'll say this in principle. Because nothing was signed. We don't know. I could tell you I agree to anything. Nothing's signed. Nothing's there to present that. So in principle, we can say that. Now I'll grant him that. Okay. But what I want to say is this: when we're talking about looking at information, what is it, the information that you want to look at? Just saying I want to look at the books is too vague. That's very vague when you're talking about negotiations for.
It wasn't vague at all. He was saying he was trying to see where the money was going, how much they made off of certain things. All of
made
it.
Off of what? You made nothing off of something that hasn't happened, Kyle. So what are we talking about?
Because he wanted that in the contract. He wanted that in the contract, though, my brother.
And that's fine. That's I don't have an issue
but they
with
didn't
that. I'm just trying to nail down what it is. I'm not saying I have an issue with him seeing.
We gotta stop this shit, man. We gotta listen, bro. Let's take yourself out of being a boxing fan and think about.
It's not about fans, Kyle. I'm talking business.
Stop with that bullshit.
This is business, Kyle. We're not talking fans. We're talking any type of negotiations that we're doing. That's fine. He wants to look at the numbers. I don't have an issue with that. He should have the right to do that. He's the person that's in business here. But what I'm saying is, it's vague to say I want to look at the books. What does that mean?
No, it's not vague, man. It's not vague. It is
Are you saying you want to look at PBC's whole profile of what they've done up until this point? Or are we talking about what we're doing with this particular business deal?
You're literally
you know exactly what the fuck he was talking about.
You being the author of confusion.
No, it's not being an author of confusion. Look here. Let me put it in a better term. Hold on a second. Hold up, Cal. Stop. Hold on.
Go ahead, dog.
Fred.
You telling me to stop?
Cal, stop. Fred.
Yes,
if you and I are doing a real estate business, okay? What you doing outside of anything that has to do with the particular deal that you and I are doing?
Oh, you putting words in.
I'm not putting any words. I'm just making a point. Is what I'm doing. It's irrelevant. What I'm trying to tell you.
Crawford.
You basically saying
I'm not. What I'm trying to do is find out what exactly he's trying to look at. That's all I'm saying to you.
You're trying to figure out what he see now. See. I hate
the pay-per-view and things regarding his fight that he wanted to cut in.
See,
and that's fine. Exactly. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That was a good point, brother.
He's talking about the fight, man. Cut it out, man. He's talking about the fights, man. And
hey, hold on, hold on.
Oh my God, y'all are. Hey,
no.
I'm adding a mute button. I'm adding a $25 mute button. 0.4. If y'all want niggas to be quiet, $25 because I guarantee they put y'all ass to shut up. But go ahead.
No, listen.
Go ahead.
Listen,
Go ahead.
listen. It's Terrence Crawford didn't say that the problem was looking at the books. In his whole little thing that he just did live, he didn't say that. He said that that was one of the things that he wanted to do. He didn't say that Al said that he couldn't. He said he wanted to fight this year. So regardless of any of that bull crap you trying to talk about, it doesn't matter. That's not what killed the fight. What killed the fight is it wasn't going to happen this year. Okay, so Terrence Crawford didn't say I could not look at the books. So you can build whatever narrative you want. That's not what the man said.
All right,
He
I'm going to ignore you. All right,
because it wasn't happening this year.
Okay, cool. We got Simon want to come in and join the conversation. Go ahead, Simon. Appreciate you coming through, brother. And welcome to the show. All you, Simon Hectic. You live, bro.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. How you guys doing? You all right?
We good. All you.
So I'm like trying to get to the point. Are you talking about contracts and like how that works?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're going all silent. Okay, cool.
Man,
so what do you want to know? Because you know, I'm sort of like a law student, so
you're like a what?
Law student. So
what's that?
Law student.
So, a law student. A law student. Thank you. Where you from, by the way?
I'm from London.
Okay, appreciate you, bro.
Well,
so,
I've been listening to your conversation.
Okay, no. So if you can add any information, Terrence Crawford said that he wanted to see the books on the fight.
Yeah, just cross-reference anything with me, and I'll just give you some minutes, as much as I can.
We don't have the contracts.
So what's your debate?
Why
well,
the fight isn't happening?
I'll tell you my question. My question is this, okay?
Speculation.
The question is right. Well, you can call it speculation, but the question is this: the narrative that's put out there is Terrence Crawford wants to look at the books, okay? And what I'm saying is, this is a deal that hasn't been done, so it's not like we can look at something that's happened, okay? And as far as projection, we don't know where the funding is coming from, the structure of the deal, any of those things. Now, if those things are available, then yeah, he should be able to look at that, okay? And if the fight happens, he should be able to look at, everything that was generated from the fight after it happens. I agree with that. But to say he wants to look at the books is kind of a vague reference, because what books are we talking about? And that's basically what I'm asking.
Right.
Well, now we ain't playing. I'm going to encourage everyone not to respond to that, please, because now we're going to play semantics, and we're going to make this. We not going to give the fans the information that they need, man. He ain't worried about no other fight but the Earl Spence Crawford fight. Jerry, you got something to say?
No spoiler.
I'll just close real quick.
Okay, appreciate you, bro.
Done.
All right.
Good show. Topic kind of beat to death, but I understand why it may have resurfaced with this thing that Crawford just did. But I'll say this. It's very clear. First off, it should be clear that Bud Crawford had a good deal with Bob Arum. He was the highest paid welterweight, guaranteed money. That was a good deal. In my estimation, he was foolish to walk away from his relationship with Bob Arum. But, he was there for 11 years. For 11 years, it was fine. He signed 3 deals with Bob Arum, and it was fine. I don't know what got in his ear, but to me, it was foolish. However, he's taken a tremendous risk. People are taking a tremendous risk with this BLK and this small app format for him to continue his career. And if people haven't noticed, and Bud is my favorite fighter, but none of the other promoters have made an effort to sign him. Not Dazin, not Oscar, not even second-class players like Lou DiBella or Prince. None of them. None of them are out there trying to sign him. And that should tell you something. If this BLK thing doesn't come off, and even if it does, and it loses money, don't be surprised if Bub's career is done. Done. If he doesn't get a promoter to represent him, and especially if that fight against Avenetian is not a a success. And at the numbers that I'm hearing and what we've heard, 10 million for Crawford, I don't know how that fight can be a success. His career, and he's talked about retiring. So let's not act like he's already said that he's done enough to be a Hall of Famer. He's talked about retiring before, and right now I see his career is in a bad place. And PBC and Earl Spence notwithstanding, none of these other promoters are making an effort to sign him. Right now, to me, he's a horse without a carriage. And, good luck to him on that BLK deal. I hope it works because, like someone else said, and I say all the time about the PBC, having these guys not around is just one less provider for boxing. And that's not going to benefit us as fans at all. So I wish him luck, and I don't blame him for doing it. But let's be honest, man, it's a hell of a risk, and he's got nobody out there chomping at the bit to put him in their stable or even show him much interest at all. And so, the rest of it for me is all speculation and pretty much all conflating. That's what all of us are doing almost on every single subject, every single night, so that's all I got. But otherwise, good show, and salute to everyone.
Actually,
That's a lot.
we can go around and give our closing remarks. Go ahead. Thank you for coming through, Mr. Pete. Any closing remarks?
Oh yeah, I just want to that was well said what he just presented there, and I have to agree. Like I said, anything that's going to help boxing, I'm for it. But just because things start off well don't mean they end well, and that's what we're kind of seeing right now with PBC as well. As far as this fight, I don't think it's going to happen. I haven't thought that was going to happen for quite some time, and I just don't think it's going to happen, period, regardless of what happens with their next two fights, whoever those fights may be. Obviously, Bud is fighting Avereason, and we don't know for sure what Earl's doing, but it's speculated he's going to be either fighting Keith Thurman or moving up to 54. So that being said, Fred, it was a great show. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Kyle, calm down a little bit, bro. It's not that serious. And
hey, Mr. P, you come in here and raise my blood pressure and shit.
No, it's not that serious. The only thing, like I said, I'm just trying to get some clarity because when you do business, somebody just says they want to see the books. What are we talking about here? We talking about my whole company, or we talking about what we're doing right now? I just need some specificity as to what we're talking about when we say, let me see the books. That's all that I'm really saying. Anything else, if you want to speculate beyond that, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying specifically what I'm saying, and it shouldn't be taken into a different context. So I don't know why this whole semantics thing got thrown in there, because I was being very specific about what I'm saying with that. But the bottom line is, I don't have a problem with Bud Crawford, trying to, do what he can to fill his coffers for him and his family, because the bottom line, that's what it's about, is prize fighting, but I do think that he's been very strategic with his career, not necessarily saying he's doing a ducking per se, but the reality is this: Bud Crawford, he'll fight if it's right on the money side. And that's how it should be. But at the same time, you can't talk a certain way and do something different and then try to blame it on the money. So I'll just leave it there with you, Fred, and salute to you all.
Thank you, dog. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah. I like some of the stuff that Jerry added to it, but as far as him staying with Bob and who ruined that, as far as all I can see, it was kind of Bob. I mean, he was talking bad about the guy. He couldn't sell a fight. He couldn't do this. He's lost all his money. So, but he said that he didn't even want to work with Bud. So, that relationship, from what we could see, through the cameras, it was just going bad. But as far as these books go, that point, it really doesn't even matter, because it was nowhere in Bud's live that he put out there that said that he couldn't see the books. But he said he wanted to fight this year. he moved on because he wanted to fight this year. And when they started talking about next year, that was it. You know, and yeah, I mean, everything that you guys, as far as what Fred has said so far, I mean, it seems like we should change the channel to, you know, I was right, I told y'all, and all that type of stuff. You ain't told us nothing. Everything that you've been speculating about is still the same, still just speculation. You guys can get upset with me and call me a PBC lover or whatever you want to call it, bro. I'm just calling you out and saying, don't spread, you know, don't put something extra in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't put don't put your little whip on it, or what do they call it when they, you know, you just putting that little extra stuff in there and trying to make it to make your narrative correct. You know what I'm saying? You can't show me where these guys are going out of business. You can't show me. Even Bud said he like Al, he's a good businessman. You got all these other people that do business with him coming on all these other shows. Your girl Rachel Donaire, she was on there on the TBV. You had another trainer that was on there. All these people, they do good business with PBC all the time. It seems like the only ones who don't do good business is the people that don't actually do any damn business with them. That's what I hear. I hear a person like Fred, and now he got, you know, these other guys that's listening to him coming up saying the same thing, and they ain't never did a damn lick of business with PBC before. How you gonna tell somebody? How you gonna tell tell your audience that they do bad business? You ain't never did nothing with them. You had a bad experience where they took your credentials. Just keep it there. You know, and like you said, it's your opinion. You could talk about it all you want to, but don't try to tell me that I'm not that I'm wrong for tightening you up on it. That's all I'm doing. Tighten you up, buddy.
What about
No, please. Anything else, Anthony?
No.
All right, appreciate you, big homie. Thank you, dog.
Okay. All right.
Hey, man, we got COINTELPRO.
Hey, Fred, you ain't get out here early tonight.
No, I am not now. Now you can say what you want. I just didn't want him to respond and him running off with these lies and these fake propaganda. He's basically he's the assistant to Kim Jong-un. What's that motherfucker name from North Korea? He's the assistant. He's the guy that sweeps the floor, wipes his ass, cleans the tables, feeds the troops. That's who Anthony is, man. That's who he is to Al Heyman, man. He's Kim Jong-un's assistant, man. This is motherfucking. Yeah. This is the guy that he was the police officer that secured Malcolm X. He was the Black Panther that got Fred Hampton assassinated, because he's the guy that's just causing all the confusion in the meetings, asking all the extra questions that has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with
it. Fred. Can I close out?
Yeah, go ahead, dog.
Because I want to directly respond to that, brother, man. Again, we got to take into account the kind of business he does. He's a car salesman, man. Like, they are some of the worst, you know, and you know, they can legally operate like that. You know what I mean? So they get comfortable in that space and that capacity of fucking people and feeling like it's just business. You know, kudos to them. Like I said, it's a fool born every day, and it's a fool out here specifically for him. So it doesn't surprise me his thinking. And you know, the thing that he shoots out, it's illogical. It's irrational, but it's a fool's logic though. And there's gonna be a fool that's gonna walk in and that's gonna give him exactly what he's looking for, and he gonna win. But I'm gonna tell you like this: if you listen, Anthony, the judge not gonna tell you he about to hang you. He gonna just he gonna navigate within the laws, the corruptions of the laws, and he gonna hang your black ass. So why would you expect PBC, who's trying to do flawed business, to tell you that they doing flawed business? It's your job and your duty to cover your own ass, which Dan Crawford has done. And for those that say that he went out on a limb and, you know, he's playing a dangerous game, he's playing a risky game, well, give me the other option he had. Okay, I'll give you that. Top rank. What's the worst he can do? He about to get supposedly $10 million. That's much significantly better than Top rank. Even if he does retire after this fight, so what? He's 10 million strong in one fight, and he's moving on. He's already got probably 15, 20 million in the bank. He about to add another 5 at least to the bank account. We can walk off with his investments. He hooked up with Warren Buffett. He ain't ever worried about going broke. He good. I admire what he's done. If anything, nobody giving a possibility to him being a pioneer and ushering in a new era of boxing representation and self-representation. Because who knows? This move that he's made, it could be inspiring to somebody else, and it could actually be beneficial. Who's to say? Let's let this play out. He may be setting himself up for a better deal with Earl Spence. He's adding more value to himself. We don't know that. I know for a fact the man wanted to fight because, as been mentioned before, he was the highest paid welterweight guaranteed, and he was fighting multiple times a year sometimes. So, for him to have done that to for him to get out the top ranked deal and to move on from the top ranked deal, it shows you, like I mentioned before, it's because he specifically wanted that fight. Who was the first fight that he attacked, that he tried to get? Earl Spence. He put faith in PBC and Al Heyman that they was going to get the deal done on fair and reasonable terms because that's how they presented themselves. And for Bob Arum always saying he lost money on Terrence Crawford, man, that's just an old bitter Jew, man. That nigga ain't lost that much money over Terrence Crawford. Why would he keep re-upping on the deal? He had him for 10, 11 years. You keep losing the money on the man, and you a shrewd businessman. One of the top guys in this game, been in this game for 50 years. Why would you keep losing money on the guy? Where does that make sense at? No, you just bitter because he asking of you to do things that's outside of your comfort zone. Oh, he's not marketable. He's not making me money. Well, you was promoter, motherfucker. You was manager. Why you not making the man a bigger star? Why you not making him big? Why you not allowing that platform and those avenues and putting him in position to be successful? You don't want to step out the realm of your comfortability. And it's understandable. You ain't ready to come with the new wave like a lot of these fighters are doing. And Terrence Crawford, hey, he's not the best businessman because that's not his line of work. That's not his profession. But he damn sure showed the world that he's smarter than a lot of motherfuckers thought he was. And I'm going to give a man credit for standing on his own ground. But good show, Freddie. I appreciate the time, man. Appreciate everybody on the panel, man, making some good points. Cal, Fred made a lot of great points. Jerry, everybody, man. KP. And for Anthony, man, we're going to have to drown the nonsense out, man. I'm not saying the brother ain't good for the show.
No, he's great for the show, but he's so off base.
Yeah,
he's so off base.
Yeah, man. And we all have our days. You know, I know I come on here sometimes and I be off.
Nah,
you know, I give way to that, but I'm not gonna be highly unreasonable for no reason and constantly just sticking to that, man. But I appreciate you, Fred. Love y'all, brothers.
Thank you, dog.
Y'all have a good night.
Drive
man.
safe, dog. Are you home now, huh?
Thank you, brother. I was home yesterday, man. Just for one day. I'm back on the road.
Okay, cool. Drive safe, dog.
Thank you, brother.
All right, peace, dog. Mr. Gumbo, it kills me when 5-figure people try to give millionaire advice. Get a new daddy. Hey, you know who be saying that? New media by Coach Malachi. 2-figure niggas. That shit be having me dying. But anyways, man, appreciate you, Mr. Gumbo. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Truly appreciate you coming through. And we'll put chat. I realize who he is. He's William O'Neill. That's exactly who he is. William O'Neill is the man that found the Black Panther Party. That's William O'Neill. Anthony is William O'Neill. He's the author of Confusion. He is the author of Confusion, dog. And now he got a sidekick. Man, they the Hart brothers, man. That's Jimmy and Jimmy Hart and the Anvil. Nightheart. You know what I mean? Like them motherfuckers. Mr. P came here like, what do you mean the books? Nigga. And then you should have been saying, Anthony, you told us all along how Al Heyman talks. You were right, Fred. I told you how Al Heyman talks to these fighters on the phone. And And Terrence Crawford described him to the T how I told you Al Heyman talks on the phone. But anyways, I'm not expecting credit from you, William O'Neal. But it's cool, man. We got cooking with the champ right now, man. What you cooking, champ?
Asian
Sweet and sour meatball.
Yeah, Asian glazed turkey meatball.
Oh, I could have made that. Dre! Hey, I never told y'all.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Champion, huh? What it do, baby? What it do? Champion heart. Champion heart. Champion heart. I'm gonna feed him if you're coming for me. Champion heart. I'm ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head. I'm seeing. Take me for granted, and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood, and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite. They feeling I could tear you apart, or I could go heal them. Don't believe it.
All right, thank you for joining me for another episode of Cooking with the Champ. Okay, what we're gonna do today is we're doing a turkey glazed Asian meatballs. All right, we're gonna make our meatballs, we're gonna do some mashed potatoes, and we're gonna steam some broccoli. All right, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our ingredients blended together in our bowl for our meatballs. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get our onions, our processor. All right. And get our bell pepper done. Also get everything, our ingredients in the bowl, and get it mixed up to make our meatballs. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. Come right back. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put our ingredients together to make our turkey meatballs. All right, and we're gonna use our shout out to Smoking and Grilling with AB on YouTube. He has great seasoning. This is a Level Up A seasoning, and he also has a Level Up B seasoning. All right, this one here is good for poultry and fish, pork, turkey, things like that. He has another one that's really good for beef. So we're gonna go ahead and add our seasoning on here. Get our bell peppers in here. Okay. Get our onions in here. All right, and we're gonna do just a little bit, half of a teaspoon of minced garlic cloves. Okay, we're gonna save the rest of those for our sauce. And this is our ginger. Okay, minced ginger. All right, and this is a couple tablespoons of breadcrumbs. All right, and an egg. All right, we're gonna get this all lined up here. We're gonna make our turkey balls here in a second once we get this all put together. All right. Okay, now that we got all our meatballs all mixed, we're gonna go ahead and spray our pan. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get our meatballs ready to go. All right, so you can see now why I've got the gloves on, because this is gonna be a little bit of a mess, but it's okay. And unlike beef, the texture of turkey is different, so you have some binding, but not like you would with beef. Turkey meatballs are going to do this, but they're going to still cook just as well. All right, okay, so we got our meatballs ready. All right, we're going to put this in the oven for about 375 for about 30, 35 minutes. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and get our sides knocked out and come back and show you how we make our sweet and sour sauce for our meatballs. Okay, all right, so we're making our sweet and sour sauce. All right, we've got a cup of water here. We'll let that boil. All right, we're gonna go ahead and squeeze our fresh lemon juice in here. All right, let that boil. All right, then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. All right, let that boil. We're gonna add tablespoon of cider vinegar. All right, let that boil. We're gonna add another tablespoon of brown sugar. All right, and then we're gonna add a couple of generous pinches of shredded ginger. All right, let that boil. Okay, then we're gonna add a tablespoon and a half of honey. Okay, let that boil.
Why don't you let it simmer? Just bathe in the moonlight. You have to let it simmer a bit, you know?
We got a mixture of cornstarch, water. All right, that's gonna start thickening the sauce. Okay, then we're gonna add a tablespoon of butter sauce. All right, and that's your sweet and sour sauce. We're gonna glaze this with our meatballs. All right, okay, so our meatballs are done, and we're gonna go ahead and put our honey Asian glaze on our meatballs. Oh man, that looks delicious. All right, okay, now let's get ready for the taste test. And all right, and we're done. Okay, we have our
bam, another notch.
Glazed turkey meatballs, broccoli, and garlic butter mashed potatoes. All right, and here we go with the taste test.
Oh shit!
All right, how do you like the sweet and sour sauce for the turkey meatballs? There we go, and that's the garlic butter mashed potatoes. All right, then we go to tender broccoli. All right, so she gave us a thumbs up. Everything's good. All right, and we have I'm no wine connoisseur. We have a Stella Rose. I think that's the watermelon flavored wine to go with your meal. It's pretty good. All right, there we go. Thank you for another episode. Take with the champ, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate you, champ. Appreciate you, champ.
All right, my brother.
Nah,
man.
That was good, champ. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was well done. All right. Kyle, what you got? Oh, I ain't got to bring y'all in.
Kyle Blaze.
Go ahead. Kyle, go ahead. He's the
That elevator music was hard to get through though, boy. Golly.
Man, I'm experimenting, man. I'm experimenting with different music to try and get a music that, you know.
Hey, man, you ain't no
experimenting.
hey, Champion Heart. You ain't no scientist, you a chef, goddammit. Leave the experiment leave the experiments to Dr. Fuller, nigga.
Oh man.
Hey man, did I see my brother back? Mike Fuller, was that somebody messing with him?
That was Mr. Fuller.
That was.
Dr. Fuller. That was Dr. Fuller. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what's up, man. Good to see that brother back.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and by the way, we got another guy we want to add to the party. In terms of, I mean, it's just coming out every day, but I figured I'll drop it in on y'all if it comes in. Oh, view story. Ooh, another fighter says, watch this, guys. Another fighter. Let me find it for you guys. Let me find it. In case y'all can't see, this is Al Heyman's favorite guy. They ain't fighting enough. Once a year ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. Instead of fighting once a year.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Rome is caving in, y'all. Rome is caving in. Rome is caving in, y'all. This is Andre Berta that said that, and obviously he's friends on a lot of networks, so he's being very generic, but yeah, he obviously thinks that fighters fighting once a year ain't gonna do it. So PBC fighters fighting once a year ain't gonna do it. But yeah, man, what you got, champ?
Everybody, you getting a lot of people that's crapping on this new deal that's coming, presenting this fight with Bud. My thing is, let's wait and see what happens before we start crapping on it. Because it may be the new thing. So I'm just kind of waiting to see, if it's going to be a train wreck or if it's going to be successful. I'm just sitting back.
Right, facts. I definitely.
If you're a
agree
boxing
with
fan, you want it to be a success.
Facts.
Well, of course, I want it to be a success, but I'm not going to crap on it, and I want to see what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are crapping on it before anything has materialized.
Right. Now you're
That's
right.
because they still in their feelings, man. They still in their feelings about another man's money.
Facts.
Yeah,
Oh, they about
yeah, it ain't that serious to me, man.
Think about it. Everybody's up in arms about another man's money.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
that's
was
crazy.
gonna be. Sorry, go ahead, champ.
No, I said, yeah, that's that's crazy, man. Like I said, I've never seen cats so emotionally involved, with fighters. That shows me that they're not they're not students of the game or fans of the sport. You know what I'm saying? They're fanboys. You know what I'm saying? Because you say something about about Crawford. I mean, winning. Oh, you hate Spence. Why you hating on Spence? If you say something about Spence winning, oh, why you hating on Crawford? I never seen that, man. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say this, dog. This is the thing, right? Me and Fred, right? We used to talk about how we didn't like Top Rank because they didn't have no black fighters, right?
Right.
What Bob Arum go do?
Yeah.
Signed every young black fighter. So
Then
our
he could find
argument is gone. So like that argument is gone now. That he ain't got no black fighters. All he got is Mexicans and Eastern Europeans. That's gone now. That's how we can't argue that point no more. That point gone. Because he got every young fighter come out the Olympics. It's signed with Top Rank. So we can't go with that. That's out.
Right.
No, and Al Heyman hasn't done the optics to make him think that he's in it long term. He hasn't signed no young fighters. There's no free big fights coming on. Everything is I believe he's using pay-per-view as a welfare system. And all his major fighters are fighting once a year because he can't pay them. He can't pay them their guarantees. So he comes up with an excuse, and I'm not sure if they still believe it, but they only fighting once a year, and Earl said on this show, I want to fight 3 times a year. Wilder said, I'm fighting 3 times next year.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, if you're only fighting once a year, man, that's definitely not going to do it. Especially if your lifestyle is at a certain, you know, level. You can't maintain it. You can't maintain it fighting once a year.
I don't understand how these fighters are going to pay their taxes and stuff next year. This year is fine because they may have fought this year or last year, but I don't know. I don't know how Jamal Charlo gonna make it, dog. Like I
You know
don't.
what? I was just going to bring that up.
Because he got April 15th. He got to pay taxes. April 16th. Shit.
Yeah.
That shit. Whew.
You know how he gonna make it?
He gonna get an advance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He gonna get an advance. And this is just me in practical. I'm not in this business. I'm just whew.
So what if we see what if we start seeing you know, the Jamal Charlo cats, you know, going to fight on Black Prime? What is that saying?
If Berto go to BLK Prime, I'm just gonna say this. If Andre Berto go to BLK Prime, Rome done burnt down. He
As
couldn't
far
find
as what though? Like boxing wise?
Yeah, that's his number one guy.
No, so he's not boxing no more, is he?
Yeah, Berto's not still fighting.
I'm just saying, like if a guy like Berto goes to BLK Prime, you get what I'm saying?
For what though? Like to do
Yeah, he's
what?
not an active fighter.
No, no, you're missing my point. If he fight, no, he's still an active fighter. He's just not fighting. Yeah. Because he said he's not unretired, retired. I don't know, but if Berto goes to top rank BLK Prime or the Zone, God couldn't find 10 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, and gonna burn it down. It's over. If any one of Al top 10, like personality wise or relationship wise, goes to, we already had one, and that's Adrian Broner, but that's
two.
Who's second?
Floyd Mayweather was first. Floyd was first.
I'm not taking no more calls. Call in tomorrow. Call in tomorrow. 912. Who? Oh, this is what I want to show y'all. Go ahead.
Floyd was first.
Who? Floyd? Yeah, before we get out of here, I want to show y'all this. And I appreciate who put this in the chat. It is impossible for Errol Spence to fight December 17th in Texas, guys. I just want to show y'all. December 17th, 5A, 6A, Division 1 and Division 2 championships at where? Dallas Cowboys
Stadium. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got stuff already booked, then yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can't. So so I just want you guys to know that I know Booba put it. I got to disagree with my boy, but it's not happening December 17th in Dallas. Keith Thurman. So
now you know what though, they do have a they do have a practice stadium in you know where you and I met over in Frisco.
Yeah, it's too small though.
But it's too small, right? That's true.
Earl put in 40,000 with Ugas. Shit, he gonna put 50, 60 in there.
Yeah, that's true.
And the cheapest ticket will be $35, $50. So it's gonna move. In that market, Earl Spence ticket's gonna move. Yeah. So I don't think they can put it up against Christmas too. By the way, that new NBA commercial, that dude looks like Earl Spence. Have y'all seen that shit?
No, I haven't.
The video game NBA 2K.
Oh no, I haven't
the
seen
NBA 2K is it? Let me see what it is. I'm looking at it right now.
Man, no.
The kid with the glasses.
The nigga rapping.
Yeah, the kid with the glasses. Don't he look like Earl Spence a little bit?
No.
Earl Spence half brother then.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I tried.
Yeah,
I was trying to be funny. But
don't waste our time.
It was just on right now.
Don't waste our time looking it up. Baby.
All right, we won't, man. Any last words, champ?
Yeah. Speaking of rapping, man. Condolences to that brother from the Migos. You know, I say all the time, man, that we lack dispute resolution skills. You know, and cats don't understand that, you know, you can diffuse a situation and not be considered weak or a punk. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know, you can't match, you know, the energy that someone is giving you. You know what I'm saying? But because of pride and ego, it's hard for cats to do that. You know, And another thing is, the way that the way that you move before you get to a certain status, you can't move like that anymore. And I don't understand why cats that status don't understand that, man. You can't move in those same circles that you used to move in, until before you got to that status.
You making points?
Now, as far as the type of music, I don't think they, again, they were considered mumble rappers. So I think their songs had good beats and sound effects, but you could never understand what they were talking about. So I don't think their lyrics was very deep, but the beats were catchy.
Right. I just
Well, that's because you
realized
too damn old, Champion Heart.
That what it is. Yeah, you probably right. You probably right.
You was in the temple when Jesus turned the tables over, man.
that motherfucker said, Jesus, you can't turn water into wine. Watch this.
Him, Centos, and OG Shelton. They was all they all got the fish and 5 loaves.
Definitely Centos. That nigga love fish. That nigga love fish. You can tell.
Oh man, yeah.
No, but I appreciate you coming through, man.
All right,
Thank
my brother, man. Appreciate you, man. All right, salute to my brothers, man.
Thank you, dog. And get some rest, dog. Thank you for
Most
hanging out.
definitely, man.
I know it's late on your end and you a little bit under. Appreciate you coming. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming in. Anthony, I think you're off the wall, but we need you. You know what I mean? Hey, we gotta convince William O'Neill not to destroy another Black organization. So, Anthony, you're more than welcome to come back, and your sidekick, Mr. P, please come back. And the author of Confusions, we had the author of Confusion and Confucius all in one show. Man, what a show, man.
That motherfucker said, "What books?"
Hey. It's like having 15 phone calls with the girl, then the date is Friday, and y'all say everything. So I didn't say it was gonna be today. What do you mean? What do you mean? Fuck, I did everything. I did everything right. You said you told me everything you like to do. And now we're in the room. And you telling me it's a no-go. Shit. It's getting late. Oh man. How long? I think it's already over, Mr. Vargas. I think it's already over. Yeah, man. I'm about to do this video. I'm about to do this video right now. And but yeah, man, I appreciate you guys coming through tonight. This was an awesome show. We're gonna talk about Quavo and everybody. Quavo. I apologize in my videos because I'm not a Migos fan. So I'm calling Offset Takeoff and Takeoff Offset. I apologize. I've never Googled their music. I just realized today that I like one of their songs. I thought it was a Drake song. So I just learned today. So
what song was that?
I forgot the name of it, but I went the title. I'll tell you right now. I went the title. I don't like the way they rap. So I've never been a Migos fan. But Versace was a big song. I do remember. I didn't know they made it. I thought Drake made it. I thought Drake made it. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah. Walk It Like I Talk It with Drake. And there's another one. I think Walk It Like I Talk It. I thought that was a Drake song. So, and I thought Versace was I had no idea. So yeah, but we'll talk about him tomorrow, man. I was really in the mood to snap tonight, and then Terrence Crawford came on, and I figured that'd be the topic of the day. But we'll double back. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we'll double back tomorrow, and we got 2 days. 2-day conversation.
You could have doubled back to Terrence Crawford for the next 2 days.
Yeah, because Earl Spence gonna have to respond and tell his side of the story, and pick me, Earl. The only mistake I would say that Terrence Crawford made is he didn't do it in interview form. You got to do it in the interview form because you got to show credibility. Everything can be rehearsed. You're not leaving the courtroom. You're not charged with the case. You should have said, I'm gonna go to. It's only a handful of credible guys out here that can do interviews, and I'm definitely on the short list. But he should have went to myself, Brian Custer.
Brian Custer would have been a perfect one.
Yeah, he can't do Blue Blood. Blue Blood is with him. He obviously can't do Ego. He's pro PBC. And Ego don't do interviews. I don't think Fight. Well, maybe I don't think Fight Hype has the information. I don't think they're. Oh, maybe the other guy can do it. The white boy with the hair. What's his name? Steve? No, not Steve. Sean. I think Sean is maybe capable of doing it, but Sean doesn't dig a little bit. I think myself or Brian Custer, the only two people that are really could have did that interview. You know what I mean? I think everyone else has chosen a side. You know what I mean? And I can say the same thing for Earl. I think Earl needs to do it in interview form because if you give a statement, you know what I mean? It's gonna slant people to hate you or love you, and you just because you don't know what question is coming, you know the topic, but you don't know the questions that are coming, and that way doesn't look like it's pre-rehearsed or anything like that. So Terrence Crawford got to get someone that's credible as an interviewer to interview him, and he can't turn down interviews anymore. Moving forward, he can't turn down no more interviews. So that's what I would have done if I was him. You know, but outside of that, it is what it is, because the interviewer would ask for details. Can you explain more? Can you elaborate? Where was the $25 million coming from? Who were the two networks? When did you call Earl Spence? Can you show me in your phone? Did y'all text? Can you show me in your phone? Do you have access to the contracts? When was if you can't send me the contract, when was the first line of communication? When was the last line of communication? Why didn't you contact Earl when you bailed? Why didn't you contact Al when you bailed? When did Black Prime first reach out to you? And shit like that. Like you gotta layer it, man.
You be asking some fucking questions, man.
Yeah, but you got to leave no stone unturned. And I would suggest Earl don't do because I'm a man too. I want to respond to this shit. Do it in an interview format. Pick whoever you trust. In a non-scripted interview. Hopefully he picks me. Or Brian. I really think Brian Cussett and I are the only two people qualified to do it. Be honest with you. That's it. You know, and then you get his side of the story. And it falls where they may, and that's it. And I'm not knocking nobody, but I think everyone has chosen the side that I've seen in media. So, so that's where we're at. And well, obviously I've chosen the side too, like because I don't like Al Heyman, but I want Earl to be successful, you know, and I want Terrence to be successful because I cold called Team Crawford, and told them the information that I know because I know it was impacting them financially. But we getting out of here, man. I appreciate you. Oh, any last words, Kyle? I'm sorry.
Play the damn song, Fred.
All right, I got you. This was a great show, man. Very good show, man. Thank you guys for coming through, man. Thank you guys for joining the what you call. And we are going to do a mute button. You can even give me a mute button as well, and I'll just moderate. That means I can't comment. I can get a mute button because I haven't monetized this channel in like a year. I don't want to monetize it. So that'll be a way where I can monetize it. 1 and 2, y'all can have full engagement and control of the show. So we're going to do a mute button. And so if you guys want to mute, you can cash at me, or you can, what's that called? Super chat. You can super chat it in and say, mute Jerry, and mute Jerry gets muted for the rest of the show. And if you want to bring them back, you got to pay $25 to bring them back or something like that. You know, we got to spice up the show a little bit, man. And but yeah, man, People Hernandez is back, Kyle.
People Hernandez.
Yeah, man. Because if I monetize the show, they'll be more aggressive on my channel. So, and I'd rather have you guys speak freely than I make, whatever it is. I don't know, what, $1,000. I'd rather have the free speech than $1,000 or $1,500 that I would have made on this. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all, man. This was an awesome show, man. I'm about to do a video that Earl Spence can't fight December 17th in Vegas or in Texas because they're booked. So there we go.
Check Brooklyn. Check Brooklyn.
That fight can't be in Brooklyn. Too
Keith
cold.
Thurman?
Too cold. No way you put that fight in Brooklyn December 17th. No way. Mm-mm. Have you ever seen a pay-per-view in New York in December? Remember, Wilder was out here in LA December 3rd, December 2nd, because it's too cold. You can't take the risk. Can't take that risk.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see StubHub fights, from November to February. They did that shit. They tried it. Remember, they tried it with
Sean Porter.
They made a huge mistake, and that was in March. So that was a huge mistake. Sean was freezing. He squeaked away with that fight, man. Hey, I ain't spoke to my boy in a minute. Jack Reese. Maybe I'll interview him, see how he's doing, man. I'll be wanting to do these interviews, and then I hear Lincoln and Kennedy's voice. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. That's an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I be ready to do it, but I be like, I don't know. I done got kind of lazy.
Yeah. Don't get lazy.
No, too much for interviewing, but I'm still.
I know. Love y'all, man. Thank you guys for coming through. Awesome show, man. And thank you to the gentleman that told me about the in the chat about the high school football games in Dallas. I forgot who said it, but I'm gonna say thank you now, and I appreciate you for the information. And then I'm gonna do that now, so it can protect my sources. Excuse me, my source. Holla, guys. Peace.